And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Probably not. Water towers, fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Fighting downside SPD off. Bring in SPD off. It's orange! Orange 25! Oh my god! Oh my god! Decollage! What is it? Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If there's methane, it'd be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? We don't need any more of these.
Welcome to another edition of the new and improved NASA Spaceflight Live in our new Friday time slot. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF. I'm your host, one of your hosts for today's show. And joining us, as per usual, at least so far, we have EJ. EJ, are you there? Are you entranced by the port right now?
No, I was just watching the port. Yeah, no, I'm good. Hey, everybody. How you doing?
How's the weather out there? Is it chilly at night at the port in Florida where you totally are?
Yeah, no, it's fine. I got a short sleeve shirt on. We're good. Everything's good here. We're all fine here.
Cool.
How are you?
Doing great. Also on the call we have Sawyer. Sawyer, how are you doing, buddy?
Wait a minute, why does my background look like a green screen and his is so realistic? Hang on. Oh wait, this is a green screen, and EJ's really at the port, totally not reversed. I'm doing pretty good.
Excellent. All right, well, we have a whole bunch to talk about today. Some new Flight 2 footage was released by NASA. PACE launched, maybe over Florida, but not really. We'll talk about that, but it was a cool launch. There's a launch from Vandenberg here, like I think they're in prop load right now, so a Starlink will happen during this broadcast. So a lot to go over. We can just jump right into it. How about and start off by talking about the new footage of Flight 2 that NASA released. Some of it's from the ground, some of it is from the WB-57. All of it is interesting. Perhaps the most interesting part of it is the parts that we don't get to see. But yeah, who wants to jump on this? EJ, I know you had some insight into the redactions a little bit there.
So with Starship, we with that footage that was released, we really didn't. I mean, the footage was really good on the way up, but there was no stage separation and no. We didn't see any termination of the booster or the ship or anything like that. I mean, it was nice footage though; it was really good. Some of it also, like you said, some of it wasn't from the WB-57. Some of it was definitely a ground track from South Padre Island, from what I can tell. You know, yep. I looked at the footage and did some maths and stuff. It's north of the pad, so there's water in South Padre Island. So
I think it's from the camera on top of the Margaritaville, which is also where we have one of our cameras. If I'm not mistaken, NASA has set up shots from there in the past, so pretty nifty.
Exclamation point hotel.
Yeah, if you want to know more about it in the chat, exclamation point hotel. But yeah, we can see the footage there on the left. It's absolutely gorgeous. But some hard cuts in there, huh? Like, we get to see the booster engine shutdown sequence a little bit, and then just hard cut to booster nebula explosion. We don't get anything between, a hot staging. We don't get FTS. Why might that be?
It's probably because it's proprietary. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I kind of heard, this was just looking on social media, so that they didn't want to show it. They didn't want to show some of the proprietary footage of separation. Hey, that's okay. We still got some really nice footage. I'm cool with what you guys see on the screen. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, at least we got something, right?
Yeah.
Especially given Flight 2 did not have a bunch of onboard footage, like from SpaceX during the stream or anything like that. So anything that we get that we did not have, I'm happy to get. But yeah, it's a little bit curious. There's that shutdown sequence. It's so beautiful, and hard cut straight to the explosion.
End of the explosion, not even the explosion.
Right. This is the
it's-
ground-based camera.
Yeah, this is the shot that I'm talking about. Oh man,
It's just gorgeous, and the birds in the foreground.
so
I may be
guys,
biased,
just
but
thought
I still think Jack's track was better.
Well, it's not about what's better. I'm not comfortable with this. Thank you, Sawyer, but all shots are good
Genuinely,
shots.
Yeah, great track too.
What? This thing is so
I'm not looking
hypnotic.
at the
I can't.
camera. Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm not looking at
It's
the
like I
camera.
can't
I'm
look
looking
away.
at the replay.
Right.
Oh,
I think my favorite part of a Starship launch is the roll. I mean, maybe the mock diamonds. I don't know, but the roll is just. I don't know. Something about a spacecraft rolling onto the azimuth is just. I don't know. It looks
It's
awesome
Saturn
and
5S
correct.
almost.
dude, it's a looker.
Yeah.
That's what that is. It's a looker right there.
Yeah. And you can see just all that ice falling off into the plume. Just absolutely gorgeous. It looks like they have a zoom on this camera too, which is really nice. They're not just stuck at the same focal length. They can actually push in as it gets
Paper cone.
higher and higher up. Just gorgeous. So yeah, welcome to NASA Spaceflight Live, where we watch a video and stay quiet.
We're
Because
just
it's so
swooning over the dang footage.
Yeah, right. But truly, it is absolutely gorgeous. If you guys have any questions, this is NASA Spaceflight Live, so feel free to throw them in chat. We are watching chat. We do the whole interactive thing. You know how it works.
Yeah, that goes for anybody that's watching on the Twitch end too. Yeah, you just start shooting questions off. We'll go where we can go.
Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Peter C. asking why they didn't show hot staging, given we already have loads of it from the ground cameras. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, what did you say it was listed as, EJ? Proprietary?
Yeah, it was proprietary. Yeah, that's what was said. And don't get me wrong, like I looked on it on social media, but it was a social media post about the official response from, like, it was the release with the footage. So they didn't show some proprietary stuff there. There must have been something that somebody at SpaceX didn't want to see, and that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think we get a little bit spoiled.
I could think of.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say the only other thing I could think of is the fact that, you know, we see it from the ground looking upward at it, whereas the WP-57 angle's pretty much dead on side to side of it. So there must be something maybe that they saw in the footage looking at it sideways as opposed to underneath. It does seem strange, though, since we have seen the pins that release it. We've seen the hot stage ring itself when it was being built on Booster 9, when it was first attached, all the testing over at Massey's. It seems a little weird, but there's got to be something. And the FTS, I kind of get. I believe it's the AFTS on this, the automatic flight termination system. So maybe that's something they don't want to show how they do, so that they can stay on the FAA's good side. Like
the sequencing of events, or
it's got to be something with the timings. That's my guess. It's something with timing. Nobody likes showing timings. That's the secret sauce, you know.
I mean, yeah. I'm inclined.
Like
I'm inclined to agree with you. The South.
Actually, somebody over the South. Somebody on my end was asking why did they blow it up. Well, the first stage seemed to have some propellant feeding problems during the hot staging. If I had to guess, just putting my hat into the ring, not this hat, I like this hat. It seems like when Starship hot stage, so hot staging is when the second stage is firing while the first stage is still going. The idea is to keep the vehicle under acceleration so you don't dry feed a rocket engine. The Starship has liquid fuel engines like liquid fuel and liquid oxidizer. I say on my end that putting Putting anything else into a
Yeah.
liquid fuel engine that's not liquid fuel and liquid oxidizer makes it very unhappy. So I think during hot staging, right, some of the Starship engines firing decelerated the booster and caused the propellant to slosh, which is why you didn't see an engine relight. And I think after that, the Super Heavy's onboard computer said, no. Also cats.
I love.
Yes, Jake now has
Yeah,
an
I
info
love that
card.
weird. Jake has an info card now, and EJ, we're sorry, but cat.
I was going to say, were you listening to me or were you staring at the cat? Look again.
I'm sorry, EJ.
Guilty as charged.
Did you say something, EJ?
No, it's good. Everything's fine.
All right, I'm going to have to move. Mr.
Yeah,
Jake
it is.
for just a little bit.
It is slightly. I guess this is. The public would want to see FTS, like it's kind of an important milestone or event of the launch. So I do wonder, like, what they must have had a really good motivation, because it's a little bit concerning that we don't get to see that, especially when we've seen it from so many other angles. Like, what's the big deal? I don't know. I keep harping on this, but
And we did
curious.
see it during the first flight when we got the
Yeah.
WP-57 footage.
right.
Yeah, there must have been something. They wouldn't do it if they didn't think that it showed something that they didn't want people to see, right? Like,
Right. When we get spoiled, we have so many good views and such good insight into this program that as soon as we don't see something, it's kind of curious. It's like, well, okay, whoa, that something must have been there. But at a certain point, this is a extremely important piece of technology that you don't necessarily want people to be able to copy super easy. I don't know that would be a direct motivation for the redactions in this, but I mean, certainly it's plausible.
we'll probably never know.
Cosmic is asking,
think
what is the current... Go ahead, Sawyer.
No, I think you put it perfectly with the word concerning, that this really important part is not there, but we'll see. I'll let you go ask that question. For some reason, I seem to have like a 2-second delay from you, so apologies if I keep cutting everyone off.
Oh, no,
All
you're
good,
good.
man.
I'll try to accommodate the vagaries of the internet. Cosmic is asking, what's the current status of Flight 3? The mishap investigation is not complete. The FAA has not signed off. And that was, I believe, a statement given to Adrian a couple days ago. So, current status of Flight 3, if you're thinking it's going in February, I would say maybe if you've booked flights or a hotel room, change up your dates. I think we're looking at March at this point. When in March, I think, is anyone's guess. I don't know, EJ, you look like you have thoughts, my guy.
Yeah, I don't think February is going to happen. The mishap investigation is still open, and even when they release the mishap investigation, when it's completed, it still usually takes some time after that. Also, I mean, I've been watching Starship basically from the beginning, not with NSF, but basically from the beginning. They're not going to launch anytime soon. It's pretty easy to spot. You know why? Thanks to NASA Spaceflight's good footage. There's the rocket isn't fully on the pad. It probably is a pretty good indicator right there. I mean, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. But we did see Booster 10 move to the pad and get stacked pretty fast yesterday. So who knows?
For varying definitions of pretty fast. The roll was fast. The stack was fast. This is a live image from Starbase, and a nice sunset out there today, minus the encoding.
We get a Bob Ross reflection.
That's some golden hour stuff right there, man.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it just always bears repeating that with these early flights, it's not like a Falcon 9 launch. It's not like any other rocket launch. There's a bunch of milestones that we have to pass through as the date gets more and more real, for lack of a better term. So, we have a booster on the pad. That's good. But there's still a lot to do. Like, for example, roll out the ship, which, stay tuned, because as soon as that thing starts moving, we will go live with a dedicated stream. But even when they get the ship out there and when the whole vehicle is stacked, presumably they're going to do a wet dress rehearsal. And that can either go well, and then we've, passed through that next gate, or something could could come up during that test, and then they have to roll the vehicles back. Like never. I think one of the questions we got last night was, during the booster roll was, do you think this is the last time that Booster 10 will roll to the pad? And I think probably the best answer to that is nominally, yes. But it's, you can't say for certain until that thing is leaving the pad under its own power. But we did a video, Sawyer, did we not, on how to tell when a Starship date is legit or not? So if you're looking to read the tea leaves, that's a good video to watch.
Yeah, I think the main thing, like you said, is don't go booking your tickets yet. We still have a little ways to go. There are a lot more indicators, and that video definitely has all of those indicators. And then again, though, last night we were also asking the question of which is better, shorts or kilts. So, I mean, take our questions with a grain of salt from last night, but yes.
Kilt almost won. Kilt was like 1% at almost won. But yeah, I mean, in general, as we're doing Starship talk, like what was your guys' reaction to seeing this footage? I mean, I know we all kind of just drooled over it, but were you surprised it was released? Were you not surprised? I mean, EJ, we'll go to you first.
I was more surprised that they cut the footage. They cut the separation and the termination. That was the most surprising part because it's like you said. I don't mean to echo people's words. We're just saying the same thing like over and over again here. But we've seen footage. We've seen that footage already. SpaceX themselves have released footage of that. So I mean, I don't not really 100% on why they would cut it. I think that was the most surprising part. Also, Das.
I would agree. Yeah. Is Das in chat? What's going on?
He was. He was in the video.
Oh! I see. Thank you. I'm like looking at questions over here and making sure Control Center is okay over there. It's all right. Sawyer, any reactions? Any Starship footage reactions?
Yeah, I had two that I thought were really interesting. First off, obviously they didn't show the FTS itself, but the remnants, you could see some of the small pieces that did survive, which, they're not many. They're few and far between. They'll splash down into the ocean if they're not already destroyed from, the explosion. So it's not a big deal, but it's interesting just to see the little bits of the vehicle that still remained. And the one that really jumped out to me was the heat shield tiles. We knew they were going to fall off. We knew that there were going to be some that dislodged. But from that WB-57 footage flying alongside it, it really seemed like there was a good number of tiles that fell off. And it's not unheard of. We've seen it all the time with Space Shuttle. We've seen missions where it came back missing a lot of tiles, especially in the early days, and it still made it back. But it's just interesting to note that even with all of the technology from sticking tiles on Shuttle and Orion and the Tough Rock and all of that, there's still a lot of work to do on adhesion.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Chat, permission to geek out about tile adhesion.
Go. You are go for geeking.
So, exactly, Sawyer. You'd think that SpaceX would learn from the space shuttle, right? But once again, as you said, the Tough Rock tiles, the tough and unifibrous reinforced oxidation resistant, corrosion resistant tiles, Tough Rock for short, those are using a different adhesion method. So, it's really easy to be like, oh, well, the shuttle had tiles and they figured that out, but the shuttle tiles are actually adhered in a different way. The shuttle tiles were glued on, and more importantly, they were glued onto an aluminum hull or aluminium. I know Chris just twitched a little bit when I said it that way.
We say aluminum here. We say methane, okay. And we say aluminum.
I'll say aluminum. We'll meet you in the middle. Anyway, so the shuttle tiles were glued to an aluminum hull, aluminum. And Starship tiles are using mechanical adhesion. They're bolted to a stainless steel hull, I guess. And on top of that, the tiles are bolted directly to a pressure vessel. So, the shuttle's aluminum hull during reentry would, it would expand a little bit and contract and expand and contract, and the glue would heat up a little bit and the tiles would expand a little bit to make a nice seal. That's what they figured out, but they figured out that moisture could get trapped in the tiles the silica tiles that were on the space shuttle were very, very good at absorbing water and heat. And what would happen is water would get stuck between the tile and the glue, and the glue is water soluble. So yeah, that ended good. So there's NASA's solution for that adhesion mechanism to fix that, so the tiles wouldn't fall off all the time. In the early parts of the shuttle program, they went through a program called redensification, and then throughout the entire program, this phenomenon was studied. But the big thing that they figured out that worked the best would be to displace the water by re-injecting the glue in the tile. That's I'm not sure we have footage, like a picture of that, like teed up and ready to go. But if you look at a picture of the space shuttle and you see a tile with a dot in the center, that means that tile has been re-injected. Now, SpaceX doesn't have these problems per se. I'm not sure if they have to worry about water absorption in the tiles. I'm not 100% sure because they're using mechanical adhesion instead of glue. I'm pretty sure water
I think
doesn't
they do
take
use glue
bolt
in
them off.
some places. Like there are tiles that are glued on and not bolted on Starship, but the majority of them are with that like 3-peg kind of system.
Yeah.
Also, on the shuttle, did they use like a strain? What was it? The strain isolation pad or whatever? Like it's aluminum and then like a blanket or a matting, and then the tiles are glued to that. Is that how it worked on the shuttle? Like it's not tile directly on aluminum, right? Because we see them putting the strain isolation pad kind of material on Starship as well, where there's something in between the tile and the metal to better make a seal. I'm out of my element here, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Sawyer, take it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm so mad. It's actually behind me where I can't reach it out on camera, but I do have some of the material on the back of my shuttle tile as well. So yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely not a direct full adhesion to it. There is some of that protection in between. I mean, you can see it in the latest video on what our next topic will be, but yeah.
I feel like they definitely would be worrying about water on Starship as well, just because we've seen the tile gaps. It rains a lot in Boca. It's got to be a consideration, right?
Salt water is.
I mean, saltwater intrusion, absolutely. These things are sitting outside. So I think, with SpaceX's iterative design, their rapid prototyping, I'm pretty sure they probably have a fix somewhere, but the fix somewhere in the works. I mean, if you look at the tile spacing and how the tiles are kind of set up over, from ship 24, ship 26, the tile methods for application and adhesion seemed like they're getting a lot better every time they go and build one. So it's only a matter of time before SpaceX does solve those problems. But yeah, I mean, Sawyer, I pretty much generally agree with you. Like, it's going to take some time. Like in the early parts of the shuttle program, they had tiles fly off, especially on the STS-1 mission. During STS-1, the boosters actually, the two solid rocket boosters actually overperformed. And they reverbed the sound so hard off the mobile launcher platform, it caused tiles on the orbiter maneuvering pods, those two kind of nacelles at the back of the shuttle, they caused some tiles to rattle off. There's no doubt that Starship is making a pretty loud noise when it takes off. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there. I'm pretty sure it's loud. That could be rattling off tiles. I mean, the other thing that I kind of touched on a little bit is that the tiles are adhered to the outside of a pressure vessel. So you're going to, with that comes with all the transients that you get from stainless steel that's getting really, really cold, contracting, getting stronger. And then, when they get to eventually doing entry, descent, and landing with the Starship, you're going to get a whole new set of thermals introduced, right? So, we don't know if it's sound. We don't know if it's the fact that there's ice just accumulating. I mean, there you go. We answered our own question. There's ice definitely somewhere in there, Jack. They absolutely have to worry about absorption because the ice from the cryogenic propellants on the outside of the pressure vessel. So there's got to be something.
And again, also worth a quick mention that we're talking the silica-based ones that we're used to seeing for shuttle, whereas the tough rock is the toughened unipiece fibrous reinforced oxidation-resistant composite. So it's a mix of other materials, not just a primary silica base.
Oh, look, a wild rocket has appeared.
Huh?
The
Oh.
Vandy launch. Look, it's a Vandy
Oh,
launch. There's no
yeah.
fog. It's a nice blue sky, sunny day. We'll get some more Starlinks into orbit here soon, so we'll keep our eyes on that. What?
Yeah, we are
what do-
less
I,
than
I
5
can,
minutes away now.
Yeah, I can barely read the clock.
Alright.
Under 4 minutes. Excellent. So that's pretty cool. I'm like debating running outside and trying to see it, but it's also pretty
for
cloudy
it.
here in LA. So, I mean, I'm pretty tempted. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, you should do it.
We can launch commentate.
Um,
We're good.
Are you
Sorry, I
sure?
got this.
Are you really?
I'm sure, man.
really,
As long
really?
as you get video or something of it, yeah.
Yeah, Pixar, it didn't
Uh,
happen, dude.
Oh my god. Okay, bye.
He actually did it. Nice.
No, he should. I think he should.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay,
But yeah,
so
what we need now is Jack Cam. We had Sawyer Cam for the last launch. We need Jack Cam now.
Yep, agreed. All right, so we're inside of 3 minutes here. Stage 2 LOX load should be finishing topping off here momentarily.
And the other interesting thing with this one, since it's out at Vandy, is that it's not that the strong back retracted a little bit and then has to go all the way back.
Yep.
This is back.
Yeah, this is one of the oldest pieces of equipment that SpaceX uses, huh? Because that's not a throwback one like at Slick 40 or it's Launch Complex 39.
Correct. Exactly. This
Yeah.
is one that's now it's retracted.
Yeah, it moves to, I think it's like 87, I think I said, per the old SpaceX comm loops.
Oh, I miss those old comm loops.
Yeah, right.
But that, I think that's another story. But yeah,
Yep.
coming up on 2 minutes now.
Yep. All right.
So we should be seeing that final vent-ish at 90 seconds or so. Or I'm trying to think, is that just an East Coast thing?
No, it'll vent. So what they're doing is you're about to see a fat vape cloud being ripped out of the side of the transporter erector, that structure to the right of the rocket. What that is they're evacuating the propellants out of the oxidizer lines. Yep, there it is.
Vehicle
Dude,
gas
we get it,
closeout.
Falcon. You vape. So that's called a ground gas closeout. Like I said, they're getting rid of the oxidizer out of the fuel lines. The second stage is fueled by the that kind of thick hose that you can see connecting in at the very top of the first stage. That kind of black ring that's in the kind of the upper part of the rocket. That's the inner stage, and then right where that hose connects in above that. Okay, we got startup. That's where the oxidizer goes in, and they
By the way,
pull.
just startup is the onboard computers have now taken control of the count. The tank should be pressurized to flight pressure. Any second we should be getting a go for launch. There it is.
Yep, there you go. So they're evacuating all those propellants out there because you want propellants in your rocket and not in your pad when it goes to launch. That's the quick answer. I summed it up.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Yeah, flaming materials plus actual flames is bad.
Mm-hmm.
We're on about 20 seconds now.
Yep.
Stage 1, pressing for flight. T-minus 15 seconds.
Here we go.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Sound suppressors on.
1, ignition.
Ignition.
There's the Rainbirds.
And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go Starlink, go SpaceX.
All right. Good
Go
separation.
internet
Everything looked
satellites
good
go.
there. Yep.
I'll add it in for them.
pitching downrange.
Okay. The next call here should be a call for power and telemetry. It usually happens around 40 seconds here.
See the Pacific Coast moving away.
Beautiful.
Power and telemetry nominal.
It looks like for a split second there, we got a good shot of the landing zone. former.
I'm just doxing myself right now.
Oh,
There is a potential for a jack cam.
oh, nice. Is that a garbage truck?
I can't even mute myself. This phone interface is garbage. I did not plan this.
All right.
There we go. I think that makes it better.
Chill has begun.
Okay,
He has no
second
mute
stage
powers
chill
on the
down.
server or in real life.
Okay, so second stage chill down here is where they basically prime the second stage engine to get fuel in it when you go to fire it, but also thermally condition the engine. The Falcon 9 is using liquid oxygen that's really, really cold. So got to get that in there and get the engine to the right operating temperature before you go to fire it. If you don't, not good stuff happens. We'll leave it at that.
Yep, and then we have the 3 events coming up in rapid succession. MECO, main engine cutoff, then stage separation a couple seconds later, followed by SES-1, which is second engine start 1, the ignition of the Merlin vacuum engine, followed by the separation of the little stiffener ring.
Stage 1 throttle down.
Okay, first stage is throttling down for
MECO.
separation here.
Stage separation confirmed.
There we go.
Stage 2 ignition.
Very good. Very good. It's textbook.
Beautiful.
Probably watched Falcon stage easily over 200 times at this point
Stage 2
myself.
propulsion nominal.
And I'm sure that's less
And,
than some people in the chat, and it just never gets old, man.
And what kind of engine is that?
That's a Merlin 1 vacuum. Or Merlin vacuum is just what they call it. It's derived
No, I
from the
meant
first...
As in, well, let's do payload fairing separation here.
Yep, PLF.
There we go. No, I meant stubby or not, aka the best engine.
Yeah, the stubby is just silly. It's just silly.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I knew we were friends for a reason.
Yeah, of course, man. It's just silly. Okay,
Apparently this marks
in nerd terms here, let me finish this up. In nerd terms here, they need the performance out of that second stage because of a polar trajectory. Because you're with the polar trajectory launching out of Vandenberg going basically due south, you're going to need that extra performance because you have a little bit more momentum from the Earth spinning to counteract when you're flying up into that orbit.
Nominal trajectory.
That's good. Both on nominal trajectory. So both
I've seen
exactly
nothing.
as they should at this point.
I've never actually tried to watch a launch from my apartment complex, so I see nothing.
Probably easier at night, but yeah. Don't worry, I'll bring Sawyer Cam back for the next Southern Polar Corridor launch and show you how it's done. Wink. But yeah, everything looking good. And again, as you're mentioning, since we're talking polar here, the way that this is going, needing as much as they can, this is going to be a landing on the drone ship. Of course, I Still Love You out on the west coast there in the Pacific.
Mm-hmm. So the cold gas nitrogen thrusters are that outgassing that you see in between the grid fins there. That's basically positioning the booster to make sure that when it starts getting down into the atmosphere and before the entry burn, that the business end is facing in the right direction. The grid fins aren't doing anything up there. The first stage is still up in the vacuum. It's above the carbon line, and now it's not.
I gotta say, Jack's shot there at the end was supercharged. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
The power lines.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Here I am watching the rocket launch, and then an unsuspecting pun just comes out of nowhere. Disgusting.
Well, at least we should be coming up shortly on the entry burn.
This is my favorite part.
Fighting
the supersonic.
Yeah, the fighting fire with fire.
Yeah, the supersonic retro propulsion, man. I love it.
I was gonna say,
I said the thing.
The nerdy explanation.
So, I mean, I'm not sure if anybody is doesn't know this at this point, but I'll say it for the record. When Falcon 9's doing its entry burn, it's not just slowing down. That's the heat shield. The gases from the rocket engine are giving the booster a thermal medium to fly in that doesn't melt it. Basically, it's pushing the plasma away. It's pushing the plasma away from Falcon 9. That is the heat shield that you're seeing right there. That's the coolest thing ever. We don't fight fire with fire. We fight
continue to follow an
plasma
trajectory.
with fire.
It's more fun to say fire with fire, but yeah, technically it is plasma.
Yeah. I got you. Now that Falcon 9's getting a little bit lower in the atmosphere, you should see the grid fins start to do that little shimmy thing going on here. That's indicative of
once the atmosphere is actually thick enough.
Yep. The atmospheric pressure is going up as it gets closer to the ground.
Stage 2, FTS says safed.
There we go. Flight termination system is saved on the second stage, so they're likely not blowing it up, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. The reason why they would save the FTS at this point is because if something does go wrong with the second stage, it'll just re-enter and the re-entry heat will terminate it for it. There's no need to have that armed anymore. Don't need that.
But most importantly now, let's see if we can see the X marking the spot on, of course, I Still Love You.
Yeah, it should be under
the landing.
Under the left grid fin, usually.
Stage 1 landing burn.
I'm starting to see it.
Terminal guidance.
There it is.
Second stage has entered terminal guidance, meaning that it's working on a closed loop guidance system. It knows where it is, so it knows where it isn't. If you know, you know.
And for the
deploy.
First stage.
Come on, baby.
There it is. And
that uninterrupted view, though.
Boom!
Landing confirmed.
Another successful landing for space.
Never gets old. Never gets old.
Oh,
that's really cool,
that
man.
Does not.
It's really cool.
Yeah. That is the 80-second landing on, of course, I Still Love You.
Go.
Go.
Sweet. Go. Go, I guess.
That is the 197th landing of a Falcon booster in a row since the last failure. Nominal orbital insertion.
Yep, good call for NOI. Hey, that was nice. Right in the middle of this pokey space talk show.
Yeah.
Got a nice rocket launch.
Yeah, SpaceX was so kind to schedule it during our new NSF live time here. It was very nice of them.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? It's pretty good, right? Try not to screw up too hard over here, okay? You know how it be.
Let me see if there's any other... There's a lot of fun numbers that Alex has posted in the back channel here. That is SpaceX's 312th orbital launch attempt, 12th launch already of the year. As we mentioned, 197th landing in a row. Their 296th orbital flight, the 65th launch from Slick 4 East, the 82nd landing on, of course, I Still Love You, and the 64th launch dedicated to Starlink's second generation constellation, and the 138th launch dedicated to Starlink overall. And 0 minutes of sleep at this point for Alex of how he keeps up with all these numbers.
My guy's on point right there.
I can only imagine what his spreadsheets actually look like. I've only seen screenshots, not the full thing. But there we go. Now we wait.
Go for it. We're waiting for Jack, huh?
No. Yeah. No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, we were talking about the shuttle because it's you and me. I'm pretty sure this is kind of like Falcon 9 is basically doing what the shuttle was, Starlink notwithstanding, what the shuttle was kind of projected to do. And you know what? I love the shuttle. I know you love the shuttle, Chris. I know you love the shuttle too. We all do. But to see a vehicle do it, even if it's not the shuttle, it should have been the shuttle. Even if it's not, it's still awesome. We're at like almost sub 2-day launches here. I mean, SpaceX launched 11 times. What was it? 11 times in January. That's it's pretty good.
Or yeah, I think so.
I'm back.
10 or 11.
Ah.
Hi, back. I'm Sawyer.
I didn't see anything.
Oh.
That's your welcome back, Jack.
Thanks, Sawyer.
You're welcome.
Oh, goodness. Well, boosters on the barge. All's right in the world.
Yeah.
Did you guys enjoy that world-class camera work?
I'm
I
waiting
thought
for
those
the metal
power
print
lines.
of the power lines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm doing an artistic study on power lines. I feel like it's really, a core thing that our society overlooks that I'm trying to highlight with my work. So,
You know what I thought was funny? You actually like rule of thirds the power line and put the telephone pole offset to the left side. Yeah, I don't think I didn't notice that.
what don't you know? God, who waterproofed that?
I was going to say it's watermarked.
My finest work. My finest work.
I think LSR was kind enough to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's excellent. If I had planned that out better, I would have gone to an actual proper vantage point. But clearly, I did not plan. It scrubs
That's
so
all
many
right. I mean-
times. You're like, it's not gonna go. It's not gonna go. Weather's been horrible, and then of course that's when it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you've already got people in support here. Like Peter Weingartner, who said, I love that Jack had to run out to watch the launch with his own eyes. That's the kind of enthusiasm that keeps me tuning in. If that's not the truth, I don't know what is.
Yep.
Why are people asking for? Oh my God! No, stop it.
No, I agree with them. You should do it.
I should do
Power
a
line metal print.
Power line metal.
Yep.
Why on God? Oh my God. Okay.
Now,
What did I miss?
Chad,
Well,
I just backed you up. Hold on, Jack. Chad, I just backed you up, so you better go and freaking buy those things. Don't just say you want it and then don't.
Yeah. Listen to
Shop on
EJ. He's smart.
NSFFlight.com. Probably the highest quality that we could print it in is about 6 inches by 6 inches, but still.
Hey, we'll
know
use
what?
some
Worth it.
AI software to up-res it.
Yes, there you go. Yes,
Just
we
make
can
it-
make
just
it
make it
12 inches
even
by 12
better.
inches.
Just turn it into
Actually,
a lie.
I want a wallet print.
Be like, this is my friend Jack took this. Like,
Yeah. People can have pictures of their
sounds like-
kids. No, I want pictures of power lines.
okay,
It
noted.
sounds like a Ralph Wiggum thing. My friend Jack took this.
Oh God. But yeah,
At
what did
least
I?
You know
lying.
what The Simpsons is, unlike Trevor last night. Just saying.
That's true.
Anyway,
That's true.
Oh.
What did I miss
back
while
on the
while
rails.
I was running around? What were you guys chit-chatting about?
We were
rockets.
discussing the launch, and yeah. EJ was nerding out about the entry burn.
Oh, nice.
It's my favorite part.
It's the coolest part. I mean, fighting fire with fire. How can you go wrong? I'm gonna run some support. James Powers becoming a Capcom member. Thank you, James. You get Discord access, so be sure to pop into Discord. And if you tune into last night's stream, this is like a huge selling point. In food chat, I posted the pizza that I talked about getting. So if you want to see the pizza I ate, go to food chat in the member Discord. But for real, there's all kinds of really good information there. There's a Starship channel, there's a SpaceX channel, there's a party chat channel, there's a gaming channel, there's all kinds of cool little sub channels in the member Discord. So check that out. And if you're the type of person that posts food pictures, you can post your food pictures in food chat.
Yo, fax me some of that pizza.
Yeah, I'll just mash it into the screen.
Yeah.
It'll go through,
Yeah.
right? That's how that works.
Yeah.
Bless you, boy.
Sure.
Thank you for for gifting a Red Team membership. Coco Cats gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Awesome. Bideford. Hi, Bideford. EJ, say hi to Bideford.
Bideford,
Yeah, say hi.
what's up, bro?
It's actually a she.
What's up? Not bro.
Bro is a universal term for all genders. Come on.
That's true. No, that's true. Also, dudes. I can abide by dudes. But thank you, Bideford, for gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Woodworker Don gifting 5. Musical Wolves with a super chat asking, given what happened to Ship 25, has SpaceX did what the new mass simulator will be. Did Musical Wolves have a stroke while they were writing this?
Have you ever had a dream
We still love you.
where you did so much that you could do anything?
that video is classic.
I love that video.
Okay, wait, no, let's try and divine the question here, because we appreciate Musical Wolves' support now and forever.
I
Given
think
what
the
happened to
question
Ship
is,
I'm guessing
25,
that's what?
new.
yeah.
Okay,
Are
no,
they
here
going
we
to have
go.
a mass simulator on the next launch?
Right, because they were saying that the flight wouldn't have failed if they had actually had a payload, because they did that LOX dump on Starship, and the only reason they did the LOX dump was because they had that simulating extra payload mass. So with a mass simulator, there would be no LOX dump. I think they're just going to run it the same way, and maybe choose a different time to do that dump, or maybe just don't do the LOX dump. I don't know. EJ, you look like you have thoughts. I'm going to sip my coffee.
God. So they said that dumping the liquid oxygen overboard made it explode. So the immediate thing that pops into my head is what SN4 did. If you're Starship OG tank watcher, you know what I'm talking about. That means it did that when it was flying up into space. I don't know if you should do that again. Probably not a good idea. I mean,
Probably not.
SpaceX is known for their creative mass simulators, though. So, I mean, I think in the industry, they usually just use water. They just have a water tank or just something up there, like it's just a piece of metal or something.
Block of concrete.
Yeah, block of concrete. You know, probably shouldn't do that whole venting the LOX or using it as ballast thing. That I mean, but I don't know. SpaceX might try it again.
Well, it sounds like they also want to try the fuel transfer within the vehicle on this mission as well. So I don't know if maybe they don't have a mass simulator still while they work on testing that too.
Well, I mean, you could say that they tested transfer outside of the vehicle and it didn't work.
Yeah, it went outside of the environment. It's not. I got to stress that that's not normal. Yeah.
But did the front fall off?
Yeah, good point.
The front did fall off, yes, but I have to stress that is not normal.
Okay, so that's not normal. Are these starships usually engineered to have the front fall off?
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. They normally the front does not fall off, but in this case, the front fell off.
So, what kind of standards are these? What kind of standards are they? What kind of standards are these starships engineered to?
Oh, very rigorous. Yeah, the front's not supposed to fall off for one. Okay. You know, they're built of quality materials.
So what happened with this one?
Well, the front fell off.
Oh, okay.
All right, I think we can stop.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
That was painful.
No, I will always be here for front fell off jokes. Always. 100% of the time.
The pun guy's saying it's painful. That's rich.
I know, right?
Well, it wasn't
Stephen
a pun.
Hansen?
That was just a long, elaborate discussion with an inside joke.
It's not an inside joke.
It's an outside joke. It's outside the environment.
Yeah.
Right.
We said that in the
it's an outside joke
beginning.
now because the nose cone came off.
Yes, the nose cone did fall off. But just to wrap up Musical Wolves' question there, we haven't seen them doing anything mass simulator wise. We haven't seen like a concrete placing boom roll up and like load up the payload bay with a bunch of concrete. We haven't seen them stuffing like lead bricks in there or anything. So I would suspect the profile for Flight 3 is the same, and they just either don't do the dump or do it at a different time. Like maybe if they give, I have no idea, the Raptors time to cool down. Like I don't know. We don't know what exactly caused the kaboom boom, but in my head it's like you have hot Raptors that have finished or are in the middle of doing a burn, and then you have a whole bunch of liquid oxygen around them. That's probably not great, but that it could be completely unrelated to the engines. I don't know, but
I mean, it had to find something hot, and it needs fuel. You need fuel, air, and spark. If you're a car person, you know you need fuel, air, and spark to make combustion. So it combusted outside of the environment, as previously discussed. So it found something.
Stephen Hansen, gifting a Red Team membership. Thank you. Angry American. They say, so back to last night, how many gift pledges will it take to get Jack in why am I reading this? To get Jack in a kilt for a live streamer video. It's just not, no, it's just not going to happen. Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Is.
Why not?
Yep. I'm just not. Jim Cavett, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. We're moving on. Jim Jerwa, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. And Justin Koshel, becoming a launch director. Thank you, buddy. That's awesome. You get your name at the end of NASA Spaceflight Live episodes, and you get all the other sweet perks like Discord access and members-only content. So enjoy, and thank you for the support.
Jack,
Matt Z in chat says,
right?
yeah, there you go. It's not doing it. Why isn't it doing it?
The one time. There we go.
There we go. All right. Just for you, Matt.
A new perk of becoming a launch director.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we did Starship. Do we want to do some Starship questions before we move on to Dream Chaser?
Hit it.
Let's hit some questions. I feel like we need like a sting or something. It's like pew 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 question time. I don't know, Kevin. I'm making a request.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah, well, yeah. Are you just hitting the wipe button over and over again? It's not a sting.
It's not a star wipe, so it's an actual sting there, so it's fine.
Let's see.
Jay out with the 20. My guy.
Kanan?
And Jay with the 5. Jack Kilt Fund. Sorry, I had to interrupt on that one. Thank you, Jay.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, God. Why
Remember
is this
one time
becoming
we were
a thing?
actually using that fund to try and get you a really nice red camera for launch, and now we're using it to get you a kilt?
Wasn't a red, but yes. Also, remember the kayak thing? This is like kayak. Kilt is kayak 2.0. That's like a deep cut. Just Mark is asking, given tower segments are on the way, is there any evidence yet of ground clearing or preparation work for the second Texas tower? No.
Say that one more time.
Good answer, good answer.
Yeah, right. Is there any indication of ground clearing or prep work in at the launch site in Boca Chica for the second tower? Because the tower segments were loaded onto a barge. They're headed over to the port right now. But no, we haven't seen any indications of where that tower is going to go.
I don't think so. No, there's been no grading because that tower that tower and that pad is supposed to go south of the pad that exists right now, right? From the plans that we've seen.
That's what it was in the plans. I don't know if that is still the what they're going to do, but presumably that's where they would end up putting it.
Yeah. So in an environment like Boca Chica, which is it's wetlands, right? If you want to see if they're going to build anything, the first thing that you're going to look for is moving dirt around.
Which they have not done yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. You want to look for grading, and you want to look for them moving dirt because if you don't do that, it'll sink into the swamp. If you build a castle in a swamp, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
But we're gonna do it anyway.
Swamp.
It's something I'm a little bit curious about because we did see all the soil surcharging in Starbase. Like that was a thing where before they even started doing foundations or anything like that, they trucked in an insane amount of dirt and just placed it there for the mass, just to compact the underlying soil.
That's right.
Before constructing on it, and they only did that to like a limited area in Boca. Like I'm not quite sure if they would have to build the tower somewhere that they already did that surcharging, or if they would have to do additional surcharging in a new area that they had not done it before. Like I wish I was like Grady from Practical Engineering or something, and I had a really good answer for this, but I do not. But EJ, it sounds like you have thought.
I'm about to blow freaking mind, man. All right.
Let's go. Let's do this.
No. So with the tower and with the OLM, they're using a concrete slurry. They're using basically a very, very big sonnet tube. It's not a sonnet tube, I know, and they're using concrete slurry. So when they went to make the OLM, it's all about how you're loading up the ground, right? Like what's sitting on it and what's the footprint of it, what it's sitting on it. They settled that dirt, Jack, in Boca Chica on the site where the Falcon 9 HIF was supposed to be, because if you cast your mind back to 5-6 years ago,
Right.
Boca Chica was slated to be a Falcon 9 launch site, right? So that
Yep.
dirt was basically where a heavy, wide, big building would be sitting, right? With the tower in the OLM, you have basically a much heavier load concentrated over a much smaller surface area. So that requires a different kind of construction. You're going to need to basically go down, I think it was 100 feet from the OLM, if I'm remembering, if memory serves me right. 100 feet down, they basically drill a huge hole, right? And they put rebar down there, and then they pour concrete in, because that hole fills up with basically well water. It's not well water,
Right.
but it does exactly what a well is supposed to do. So they have to displace that water, because you got to get the concrete all the way down to something, to terra firma, something that's firm in the ground, or else it'll just sink into the swamp. But Father, I didn't want to do any of that. Anyway, so they said you couldn't build a castle in a swamp, but I did it anyway. So with the tower stuff, you're going to see them move around dirt, but you're not going to see them put like a huge mound of dirt and let it sit there for a little while. What you will see is the auger that drills those bores for the concrete slurry, for the pillars for the OLM. That'll be the big one, just like it was for the first pad.
Right. I remember that whole process, and it's like, oh man, they're really digging down deep. Like you said, I think like 100 feet or something. It was pretty crazy.
Yep.
But to your point, as you were describing that the soil surcharging and whatnot, if I'm not mistaken, the area that the orbital pad is built on right now, in the Starhopper days, was dunes. Like, I've stood right where all of that is right now, just on the other side of the fence, looking at a landed Starhopper. So this area that we're looking at right now was not soil surcharged or whatever. It couldn't have been, because it was dunes at the time. So, yeah, that makes sense. But we'll just have to, keep our eyes open, Sean and Mary down there, and all of us with our SBL cameras for any sort of prep work. When we see a drill rig, roll up on site and start punching holes in the ground at some place around the current orbital pad. I think that'll be pretty darn good indication. Let's see. Here's one. Ross is asking, do we think Ship 28 will repeat a static fire? Given the engine, I don't even know what to call it, the engine mischief that we saw them doing. Like, they removed an engine or two. We don't know if they put those same ones back on or put on different ones. Sawyer, what do you think? I'll throw it to you first on this one.
I was going to say, that's the real question is, were they actually replacing the engines? Were they doing modifications to the engines that were already there? Removing them, working on them, and placing them back in? I think that's going to be a large decision in it, because it's been quite a while since they did the static fire on that before, right? So they might want to redo it again, but then again, at the same time, with the rate they're trying to go for this campaign, I could see them still foregoing that and focusing right now on getting Booster 10 through its campaign, doing the wet dress rehearsal, likely static fire, and then stack for launch. So I don't think they will. I think they feel comfortable enough at this point with their engines, the way that they work on them or replace them, whatever the case may be, that they won't. That's just my thought, is I don't think they will.
EJ, a rebuttal or concurrence?
I'm with Sawyer on this one, dude.
You're just going to send it, no extra static?
Yeah, I'm just going to send it. Also, my keyboard's loud.
Your keyboard is, like, ridiculous. Can we talk about that? What are you running there, like the Cherry Reds or something? Are you one of those guys?
It's a typewriter.
How does it,
No, it's
how does it translate into, it's like a digital, it's like one of those old word processors from the 90s?
Yeah, it's a DOS keyboard professional. Sorry about the keyboards, fellas. But yeah, Sawyer, I was listening, and I do agree with you.
I expect them to do another static fire on 28. I could be completely wrong. You two are probably right. I don't want to call it Go Fever, because I don't think it's that, but I feel like SpaceX wants to be ready to go with this as soon as possible. So as soon as perhaps tonight, when Ship 28 rolls out, we'll probably get an answer, because if it goes to Pad B, we'll know that it's going to Pad B for testing before a stack, and if it goes straight over to the orbital side, we'll know. Obviously they're not going to static fire on top of the booster. As many times as we've gotten that suggestion from chat. They're not going to do it. Much like George Bush, not going to do it.
By the way,
Now watch it drive.
By the way, it's not Go Fever. It's testing at the speed of SpaceX. How about that?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so it's a good question because we did see those that engine shenanigans. I don't know. I really don't know what to. We saw a swap, a potential swap, whatever you want to call it.
I mean,
Engine work.
The data is there to show that Starship the plumbing works on Starship pretty well, and as long as Ship 28 doesn't have many changes in the plumbing from previous Starships, the engines. I mean, we know from NASA Space Flight's McGregor cam that those things get torture tested on a daily basis. So, pretty sure the engines aren't going to be a problem.
Fingers crossed. Like, knock on wood. You might have just jinxed it.
Yeah. Please make me eat my words, because nothing's better than sticking it, the chat sticking it to the internet streamer, man. That's awesome. Like, I know you guys love doing that, so do it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Here's the video right there of the RVAC coming out. Nice work, Mary. Yep, that's an RVAC. Boy, I tell you what.
You can tell it's an RVAC because of the way it is.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
Slaps engine bell. This baby can thrust so many ships.
Nice.
Choco Chuck GT wants to know if we think the FAA or SpaceX will be the holdup for Launch 3.
I think it's worth noting that right now, the FAA, in a statement to NSF and Adrian, basically said, look, SpaceX is still completing their part of the mishap investigation. Once, like we saw last time where they had, 73 things that they had to fix, or 72, and they then sent what they were going to do to the FAA, and the FAA said, okay, that's fine, now we'll close the mishap investigation because you've done those things, and then next up was the license. They're still working on that. We don't know how many items are on this particular mishap investigation. I'm sure SpaceX is doing everything they can to modify it as quickly as possible so that they can fly again as quickly as possible. And one thing I was kind of talking about last night was the fact that, the FAA is going surprisingly fast for how many people they have. It's not fast enough, that's for sure. We want to be able to see this campaign pick up a lot of pace. We want to see them be able to launch more times in a year than having to wait between each of these investigations. But the investigations are important, and part of it is indeed on SpaceX's side. So it's in the works. I think SpaceX is probably close to being done. So hopefully sooner than later we'll see the FAA acknowledge that and then proceed towards the license.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one 100%, dude. They wouldn't even put the booster on the stand if they weren't close to an integration and testing campaign for a full stack. They wouldn't do it. The other thing is that these line items, the 63 items on the list, they come up with those. That is kind of concurrently brought up. Like, SpaceX and the FAA work on these mishaps together. I think that's the thing that everybody misses. They're working on them all together. The reason why it feeds to a much bigger picture. So everybody knows, if you follow Starship at all, that the FAA is kind of the regulatory oversight into SpaceX's testing and how they're going to launch from Boca Chica and kind of overseeing the first civilian spaceport there. Now that's the operative word right there. It's a civilian spaceport. Starbase is the first of its kind. So in that manner, because of prior regulations where the FAA kind of came into jurisdiction here, they started treating rocket launches and the certification process for them. They kind of put everything under one roof, and that includes spaceport certification as well. Now, we do have the environmental impact. You have the environmental impact in the fish and wildlife surveys and stuff, and those are kind of all under the same kind of roof over the FAA. Now, what does this mean? Like, what am I getting at? I'm getting at that what we're seeing here is kind of it's not like the FAA had a manual on how to have a spaceport that's going to support sub 2-day launch campaigns and refueling stuff on orbit and, landing operations and takeoff operations on the regular, right? It's not like we had something like that. Like there's nothing like that. Nothing has ever existed like that. So as people that are barking up the FAA's tree, like, oh, you're making SpaceX go so slow. Yeah, there's probably a component to it, but also they're going slow because this has never been done before. And if anything, getting the kind of like laws set up for SpaceX to operate a commercial spaceport and having that regulatory framework in place in the future will make it so it's easier to make other commercial spaceports. They're kind of breaking the ground, actually and figuratively there at the same time. It's part of the reason why this is going so slow. It's kind of and that's why, I said at the beginning, it takes two to tango here. SpaceX and the FAA are kind of working together on this because no one's ever done something like this. It's not just like the FAA is sitting there going, no, pathetic. You can't do that. We are the FAA. We know everything. No, that's not really how it's working. They're working together with each other to get these mishaps figured out and hopefully in the future provide a nice avenue for commercial spaceports to exist, which is really cool. Right. Just like you'd have to apply for an FAA certification to get an airport, a general aviation airport certified. You had to go through the same environmental impacts to get an airport on the map. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, it's kind of the trick of the question. Like, do we think FAA or SpaceX will be the holdup? Well, like you said, EJ, they're working together. The FAA is doing the mishap investigation in conjunction with SpaceX. So if SpaceX is like ready to launch but hasn't furnished the FAA with whatever information they might want or hasn't completed whatever mitigations have been requested, all of that, like they're working together. It's not, one is waiting on the other. I don't. That's not my interpretation of the situation. I could be completely wrong. Exactly. Good question.
EJ, Copeland. I want you to read all FAA documents in your FAA voice now. Yeah, please, and thanks.
Wait, in the FAA voice, yeah. Ugh, yes. Pathetic. Yeah, okay, sure.
Can we get you like an FAA inspector hat? Like we need you to do, like you put a separate hat on that just says FAA inspector.
I don't think you boys realize the can of worms you just opened. I'm not sure.
I'm here for it. Okay. Justin is asking, with the road closure scheduled for tonight, is there any thought or word of Ship 28 rolling out to the tower tonight? Yeah, that's what I think we all are expecting tonight's roll closure to be. So that's hopefully what we see tonight. And you bet your buns, I guess, that we'll be live for that. So stay tuned.
Buns?
I think
buns.
Jacket will be
EJ,
using me as part of Chaos Crew again.
EJ, do you want to do the YouTube things, like tell people to subscribe and hit the bell so that they can know when we go live for Ship 28 rolling out? You're so good at them. You did great last week with the YouTube person things.
There's only one type of bell that I ring, and it's the cowbell. Yeah, I teed this up from last week.
Yeah,
you're right.
You just had it ready to go, huh?
Dude, I brought a cowbell to this. Hit the dang bell. Trust me on that one.
That's
we
amazing.
entertained. Are you not entertained?
I'm entertained.
Look.
Well, here's why. Because we have class. Comment, like, and subscribe, share. We have class. We don't do that.
Huh? Wait. Yeah, that too.
Yes. I got the Jack facepalm emoji. I love it.
So, moving right along. Kenan Copeland is asking, what are the chances IFT3 will be in March 9th through the 17th? I'm off the grid at that time and really don't want to miss it.
The chances are yes.
Yeah, if there's, like, that's the general rule of thumb, is if there's a time that you're unavailable or have a vacation scheduled or there's a family thing, that's when it's going to be. No, but for real, though, I would say early to mid-March is, unfortunately for you, probably a pretty good bet at this point. So,
and we do know SpaceX likes the funny number, so maybe Pi Day 3.14.
No, okay, yeah, no, that's a good idea. Yeah, better than
March 14th. I like how you did a 180 in your thing. Like first you were like,
I thought you were going with the other meme number. I don't know
No.
what month it is. I'm
Moving
sorry.
No, I can see March 14th actually being reasonable.
Yeah, fingers
Oh,
crossed
boy.
we see a launch soon. Probably early March would be my guess right now, but like we were talking about earlier, there's so many like milestones in order to get to that point. It's impossible to say with any certainty this far out. All right, last Starship question for now. Peter C is saying slightly off topic. What? Off topic? We only do very strict on topic discussion here. I don't know what you think, what show you think this is. But given the hardware we've seen, when do you think we will see the first V2 Starship? Is this year on the table? Yeah, I would say this year for Starship version 2 is on the table. Probably next couple months. EJ?
Yeah, definitely coming soon. I mean, the thing is like, we've had hints about what the V2 is going to look like, right? But we won't know. There's already been so many changes to the Starship between like the first launch from last year to now. Like,
Right.
I'm sure we've probably already seen some version 2 components. You just didn't know what we were looking at.
Yeah, well, there was even one of our recent daily videos, Sean, I think, caught a header tank being moved around the production site, and that was, I think it was a LOX header tank for a ship that looked nothing like the previous header tanks that we've seen. So far, I think that's the only, at least off the top of my head, version 2 hardware or potential version 2 hardware that we've seen. But that's just kind of the nature of the production site these days. Like the ring yard doesn't really exist anymore. They're doing everything inside the Star Factory. Like gone are the days where we can see them flip an aft cap for a booster and be like, oh look, there's 33 engines and not 29 on this one or something. Like it's become harder to sort of divine what's going on through the hardware. But
If I had
keep our eyes open.
If I had to put money on it, I think that after the first fully successful splashdown in Hawaii, that's when Elon's going to announce version 2. So hopefully sometime this year, we want that to succeed. That would be my prediction, is the second V1 is fully successful on its mostly, but not totally, orbital flight. That's when Elon's going to announce V2.
Do we think, like, let's say Flight 3 goes, yeah, I'm a very serious space news presenter. Yeah, that is my new title. Yes. So do we think if, like, let's say Flight 3 goes swimmingly and everything goes to plan, and they nail the profile, all that stuff, do we think they will fly further version 1 starships, or do you think they'll do what we've seen them do in the past, where they end up scrapping the old ones or the obsolete ones and then move to a new architecture, like ship 17 and 18 and 19, all that kind of thing? Do we think we'll see that again, or do you think they'll fly out the rest of the version 1s and then move over just to like gather more data? EJ, you look I see consternation on your face. No, never mind. No consternation there. I just see EJ.
It's because I'm thinking. I'm actually listening. I'm sorry. I think out loud sometimes. You know what I mean? I think that it's entirely dependent on propulsion. Propulsion is always the long lead item in any systems engineering that has to do with launch vehicles. So if that includes like a different version of Raptor, yeah, they'll probably just be like, nah, new hotness, no old and busted, new hotness. Yeah.
Reference acknowledged.
Yeah. Yes, my guy.
Sawyer, any
Why do
thoughts?
the cats always do that when I'm talking, man?
Yeah, I know, right? It's your voice.
I'll interrupt EJ.
All right, it's fine. It's fine.
Here, my thought is that they may not fly out all of them, but some of them, again, like we've seen even now, from the first flight to the second flight to now, the evolution of, they flew it with like, yeah, we know that we're going to eventually do the electric TVC, but we'll stick with the one that uses hydraulics just for this test flight kind of thing. I could see them doing that for maybe 1 or 2 more, but once they announce V2, I think you got maybe 1 or 2 more left before you then go full on, get rid of whatever you had and start flying the new version.
Makes sense. All right, let's move on to Dream Chaser. How about? We down? You guys down? Can we do Dream Chaser? Everyone's favorite tiny space plane?
No, we don't want to talk about shuttle things. Yeah, no.
No, of course not.
All right, really quick though. J Health, thanks for the super chat. Jay Keegan, they say Jack Kilt Fun. Stop it. Stop it.
Yes.
Don't stop.
Ace-
Just keep
Shout
doing
out
it.
Jay.
No, don't. No, do not. I wish I could. I've never wished for mute powers more than I do right now.
Do it.
Uh,
Do it. Johnny
Ace
Red
of
Meat,
Spades.
okay? Do it.
Ace of Spades says, I have to correct his car guy comment. You need fuel, air, and heat to make combustion. Diesel works off of heat and compression, not a spark. EJ knows that. You know that, don't you,
Yeah,
EJ?
no, he's right.
Wow.
I forgot about the diesel. I mess with mostly gasoline engines, so he's right. Ace is 100% right.
William Weaver, thank you for the support. They say, after all that pain, some more pun tokens for Sawyer.
With all
James
of your
Kopfer,
serious discussions there, it's appreciated.
right. James Kopfer, thanks for the support. They say, hey, Sawyer, rent Jack and Ember for Flight 3 so he will post his kilt video. Will you stop with the kilt thing? What is kilt video?
I would
chat
consider it.
Okay, well, no,
And
I'm not going to
stop
do
the
it.
kilt and in the chat. Sorry.
What? Matt PD, thank you for the support. They say, airy fun, screw red, free compressed raw. Yeah, red cameras are nice. I want an Ember really bad, but I would
But a kilt is
take
nicer.
anything. I would take anything from Airy. Michael Tompkins Jr., thanks for the support. They say, why is SpaceX building more towers without knowing if the current tower will work and catch Starship? I mean, you got to figure they're reasonably confident that it's going to work, right?
I think they'll catch one. I think they will, or they might be making a dedicated catch tower. I mean,
No,
I don't think people
stop that.
kind of agree with me. Yeah, yep, there it comes.
We spent a lot of time on the stream yesterday dispelling that notion. Stop it.
I knew
If I
it was
could make
coming.
a prediction,
Go ahead.
I think the second tower may be for when one of the catches doesn't necessarily go right, so you don't lose cadence.
I mean, it's certainly redundancy is good, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's not the case, but
So you got to kind of think about it, like I said, in terms of long lead items. So, they're not entirely sure that they're going to catch it, but the architecture for refueling Starship HLS, which is, in spaceflight system engineering, that's just around the corner. You're going to need all those refueling flights. That has been very hotly debated on how many, right? But you're going to need that. So SpaceX going forward, they wouldn't be going forward, especially with their HLS design. The lander being a extremely long lead item in the entire Artemis architecture, they wouldn't be going forward with something like that unless they were dang sure. And even then, you're probably going to have some mishaps. Like it's like landing Falcon 9. Falcon 9, they didn't get it right the first, second, or third time, right? But after number of attempts, like just what we saw like a half hour ago, it's now routine, it's textbook. I don't think SpaceX would be moving forward with plans the way they are if they didn't expect that level at least of reliability, and building two pads kind of hedges your bets against doing something like that, right? It's the same reason why 39A and 39B exist, because the Saturn V needed to get done on a timely schedule. We choose to go to the moon, right, in this decade. So the reason why they ended up building two pads is in case one pops, they have another one.
Yeah.
Am I talking too much?
No, you're not talking enough. Talk more.
Don't.
no,
Be
EJ
careful what
Kennedy
you
over
wish
there.
for.
It's all good.
Eric Beavers, thanks for the support. They say, I got one. Me and my family are visiting Starbase next week, hoping for a full stack. Visiting Starbase video NSF did is great. Thank you. Is the road open to the Rocket Garden? No. They have closed Remedios, but you can still go like a quarter of the way down it, but you can't go all the way up to the Rocket Garden anymore. No hugging Hopper still, right? Yeah, no hugging Hopper, unfortunately. And any new do's or don'ts? Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but stay tuned. We might have another visiting Starbase video coming up here soon. And the Texas
Don't
Bandit.
do stupid.
Yeah, don't be stupid. That's as my high school principal would say, make good decisions. The Texas Bandit Thank you for the super chat. All right, let's talk about Dream Chaser. Finally.
Also, I just have to
Sawyer.
say I totally messed up, and I should have called you EJFK. That would
Oh, yeah.
But yes, Dream Chaser.
Wait.
In
Before
case
we
you
move
can't-
on, you have been
hey.
ignoring my cloud report in the back channel.
What's
It
your
is cloudy
what?
at Starbase.
I'm not. Who is this?
I saw it.
No one
Yeah,
reported
where's this?
it.
The voice of God, I
Where
thought
is
was
this-
Morgan Freeman.
Where's this voice coming from? I'm not familiar with this. I don't know what's happening here. There's no words on it.
I
Yes,
also,
there's cloud.
I found a picture in the archive.
I quit.
Kevin Michael Reed, everybody.
I quit. I'm not. Good luck. Good luck doing a stream. I'm done. Signing off.
Let's get the power lines back then. Those were exciting.
What?
Anyway,
Dream Chaser.
I guess we should move. I was gonna say we should move on to Dream Chaser. I think it's hard to after that, but like you said, make good choices. So we'll move on. Yeah. In case you can't tell, I'm a huge Dream Chaser fan. I like mini space shuttles, and there was a recent article on NASASpaceflight.com as well as the
Who
video
wrote that
came
article,
out
Sawyer?
on. Oh, that was some guy named Soyar Rosen, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Same guy that also wrote, hosted, and edited the video on Dream Chaser as well. Same guy. But hey, I know that guy. But yes, so NSF was one of a few select media groups that got access to the vehicle. We've had amazing access to it. First off, we got to see it before they shipped it off to NASA Glenn's Neil Armstrong Research Center there, formerly the Plumbrook facility. And then we got to see it in the facility where they were testing the vibration on it. So basically preparing it for the rigors of launch, of it being shaken back and forth, up and down, make sure everything kind of stays where it's supposed to be for that portion of flight. And now it's going to be moved over to one of the largest kind of space replication areas, I guess is the best way to call it, where they're going to drop the pressure down on it, and they are going to then take it and try basically make a space environment where they can simulate the solar heating, the cold temperatures, the pressures, things like that in the space environment. So if there is anything that needs to be fixed, you find it out now as opposed to when it's mounted on top of a Vulcan rocket and launching on its flight, which its first flight is the second flight ever of Vulcan. So that should be coming up hopefully later this year as you see me flexing off my space shuttle tile there.
Hey, it got on stream after all.
All right.
Of course, I had to flex. It's not a flown one, but it's the same exact material. And yes, I enjoyed my shuttle tile ASMR there. But it's so cool to see. It's originally it was going to be designed as a crew vehicle. I remember way back in 2011 at STS-135 when the then Sierra Nevada company signed a deal at NASA's Kennedy Space Center to basically become a crew vehicle. They've decided, obviously, now that the main focus is cargo, and eventually they will likely move on to a crew variant. They have a 200 series that is planned for crew. But for now, it's part of the CRS-2 contract to resupply the International Space Station. As you can see, the astronauts have even gotten the chance to go in and practice with it, the ones that will be on the ISS when it actually docks for the first, or is birthed, I should say, for the first time. So
Good man.
it's exciting. And then it's going to land back at the Kennedy Space Center shuttle landing / launch and landing facility. I love this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
the
good.
best. I am 100.
Sorry,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Sorry, you said that it was supposed to be the next crew vehicle, and wasn't. That's because Dream Chaser didn't get that commercial crew contract, but NASA gave them a CRS-2 contract. They got contracted to resupply the space station instead, right?
Years later, yes. I mean, this initial contract was signed in 2011, and then the second one ended up coming up in, what was it? I believe it was a couple of years ago was when CRS-2 was announced, which includes the Cargo Dragon V2 and the Cygnus vehicles, which we've already seen flying. This is just an additional one, and as of now, it is contracted for 7 flights as part of the CRS-2 contract, and we know that at least the first 4 flights, I believe the first 4 or 5, will be flown by the vehicle that we saw tested there at Plumbrook that Trevor Sesnick had a chance to go out and see at their main facility in Colorado, named Tenacity. And the next one, we also got the insight on this, that the second one will be named Reverence. You'll have to watch the video to see why.
Cool.
Totally not a shameless plug there, but yeah.
Solid plug.
Watch
no,
the
it's a
video.
solid plug.
Do it, you won't. Do it, you won't.
I'm so here
Oh
for
my God.
for EJ
I appreciate
being combative
my,
with the audience.
It's my job.
Also, I appreciate
I'm
it
from
by
the
name there.
Northeast.
Thank
What do
you,
you want?
Kevin.
What was the name? I missed it.
Wait for it. I'll see if Kevin can pop back up. There you go.
Oh, nice. There
Yep.
you go.
He does, in fact,
Perfect.
like shuttles.
You
I
like
can
shuttle.
confirm.
So yeah, as of right now, the flight date, I saw someone asking, is there a date for flight? That would be mid this year, no earlier than. So hopefully soon.
TM.
The goal after this is that they will then finish doing all the testing, ship it over to KSC to be mated and ready to fly on top of Vulcan. Seems like they're still going to have a few little things to do, considering from the pictures that we saw, the base of the vehicle still is kind of tile-less, so that might be a slight issue. But other than that, it'll be good to go.
So, Dream Chaser wise, we do have some good questions coming in. Keiichi is asking, other than CRS, are there any missions manifested or planned for Dream Chaser? Or is it just ISS cargo for now?
There was discussion back in 2019, and I haven't seen any recent updates, but as of now, I believe the plan is still that the United Nations will use Dream Chaser as its go-to satellite deploy system. So they will have the unique contract with Sierra Space, the company that makes Dream Chaser, to be able to go out and launch these satellites. Yeah, it seems weird that it's like the UN launching their own satellites. I would be interested to see what their payloads would be, what the UN would decide to launch on Sierra Space's Dream Chaser. But yeah, no, that's the other contract at the moment. They also have, again, the plans with Sierra Space to build other space stations in low Earth orbit that would then also be resupplied by Dream Chaser. So they're trying to manifest it to do a lot.
I mean, Sawyer, they wouldn't be doing all this. I mean, the 7 NASA contract resupply flights are, or was it 6 or 7? Those ones
7.
are 7. Yeah, those are, obviously pay dirt, right? If you get a NASA contract for resupplying the ISS like that, but they, we've seen Sierra do other things as well. Like they recently tested their space station, their inflatable space station module with flanged ports on the side, and we saw them pop that like a balloon. That was pretty cool. They're clearly looking to the future here. That's clearly what's going on. They wouldn't invest in building this and a future crewed variant of Dream Chaser if they weren't seriously thinking there's some revenue to line up in the future low Earth orbit economy, right? Like you wouldn't go and do all this if you didn't think that, or at least anticipate something. Something's brewing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're cooking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying. And yeah, it does look a lot like the mini shuttle, which is nice. The interesting thing also, the shuttle, it has the thermal blanket on it. This is all tiles. They are very similar to shuttle tiles, but it's all tile around it. So it'll be interesting to see if it can do what shuttle couldn't in terms of quick turnaround, reuse, and ease of, hey, let's turn the vehicle around, and when NASA wants us again, say in 6 months for the next resupply mission, we're ready to go with the same vehicle loaded up and all the science. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah,
among many
absolutely.
things.
More science, more better.
Yep.
Also, whoever said that it was part of Unit, I could see Unit actually using that in the show. Just saying.
All right then.
It needs to be the
Uh,
United Nations Space Command. Yeah, there, I said it. 117, baby. If you know, you know.
Fair
I'm
enough.
ashamed to
Are
admit
you gonna
I
watch
don't
the
know.
new season?
No, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
no.
No, not at all.
What is this, For All
I
Mankind?
don't blame you.
Nope.
So, yeah, I'm lost.
Chat,
For once,
you
I
know.
don't get the reference.
It's Halo, man.
Let it cook. Anyway.
Halo. Okay.
Yeah,
There's a Halo show? I'm so out of touch.
there is now on Paramount. Yeah, and it just got a season 2 trailer. But anyway, besides that,
Nice.
mini space shuttle.
Yeah, mini space shuttle good. What do we have
Yep.
here in the dock? What is actually? We do have a question here from Austin. Where is the berthing port for Dream Chaser? Do we know like specifically what port it's going to go to?
I'm trying to recall. Again, they have an animation of it. I mean, it's going to dock. The rear portion of it is where the docking adapter is. Because again, keep in mind there's the vehicle itself, and there's also the Shooting Star cargo adapter, of which both will be pressurized that crew will be able to go in and take payloads in and out. I don't know which port, but I believe it's going to be the one that was PMA 1, 2, or 3, one of those.
Cool.
PMA for Shooting Star? Did I miss that?
I'm trying to remember the docking ports. Okay, there's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Shooting Star has a common berthing mechanism on the back, so it'll berth to a similar port
Right.
that Cygnus could. So we're talking. Okay, cool. We're on the same page. All right, cool. We're talking the nadir of node 2 or node 1. It could be either one of those. Those are the open ports. They switch it up. Kind of depends.
Alex in our
That's it,
back
yeah.
channel is
That's what I
saying
meant.
the Harmony Nadir. I hate that word. Nadir? Nadir?
Yeah, node 2.
I don't know.
I've heard it
How are you
pronounced
supposed to
both
pronounce that?
It's either or either.
Yes, precisely.
But the
all right.
the one thing I want to talk about with Dream Chaser, because I see a question from Musical Wolves, who said, "Is Dream Chaser Shuttle 2.0?" Which brings up the interesting question, because right now it's just cargo. But there is the whole idea of getting crew down the line. And this is one thing I talked about in the video, and I really want to hear your guys' opinion on this. As of now, there is no plans to install Windows on the crew vehicle. That can change and will likely change, but in terms of cost effectiveness, they found it easier at this point, rather than having forward-facing windows like you would see on the space shuttle, instead to have live camera views that can be projected as if it was a window interior. I want to know your thoughts on that, EJ especially.
I mean, Dragon doesn't have windows that the pilot and the co-pilot see out of, but then again, landing that is kind of an automated thing. But then again, landing Dream Chaser is also an automated thing. I don't know, man. If it was me, I'd probably want a window. Also, a window, is less likely to malfunction over a camera and a monitor, right? Like, not saying it would. I don't know. I mean, I would want Windows. I'm team Windows, not the operating system.
I am
I
also
was going
team
to say, I'm
Windows.
seeing all the Linux and Mac jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I went to tour Bigelow back in the day, when they still existed, and one of their big things was, "Oh yeah, we're not going to have Windows. We'll have a big screen. We'll have multiple giant screens and cameras on the outside." And it's just like, no, give me a window. I want to actually see the real photons. Dang it. Maybe that just makes me silly, but
It then becomes a mass issue, and it becomes a refurbishment issue and a point of weakness potentially, and yada yada, all that stuff. But I would want a window too. The whole point of going to space is to see it.
yeah, I understand there's engineering trades there, but yeah, I'm right there with both of you. I would want I would want to see it with my own dang eyes, not through a camera.
And I've heard the argument, it's like, well, they wouldn't be able to see over the nose of the vehicle anyway when coming in for a landing if they had the windows like you could with shuttle, but come on, space windows.
I mean, it's not just that. I mean, the shuttle windows, obviously they're there so, you can fly the thing down and land, but the shuttle, having windows on your spacecraft, especially for something that's, orbiter based like Dream Chaser or, the shuttle or whatever, there's other things that are offered other than just looking out the window. I mean, it's in the future, Dream Chaser is going to have some type of docking mechanism, right? If they're going to launch crew, they're not going to berth crew, right? Unless NASA changes something up, right? They're not going to berth crew, so Dream Chaser is going to have to dock at some point. So it's got to have windows somewhere. Maybe not necessarily facing forward, but you got to have something. The other thing is, the shuttle. The shuttle would fly upside down. It would go wings up into space. Part of that is so the astronauts could maintain situational awareness on board and see the horizon line as a point of reference in case of an abort contingency, right? So there are other things that Windows offer for your commander and your pilot to look out for other than just the nice view. I mean, that's kind of a byproduct, but yeah, there are other reasons to have Windows on a spacecraft.
Yeah, situational awareness
Right,
makes
and
sense. Go ahead.
Even along those lines, with the shuttle itself, it is a slight difference because the shuttle was manual docking as opposed to something like Crew Dragon now, which is automated.
Center.
But, you had the window looking into the payload bay, and then you had a window above at the rear of the flight deck that was used for docking. Obviously you had cameras inside the docking adapter and things like that, but mainly those are your two vantage points to dock manually. If it was just cameras, I don't think you get as precise.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, a window is simple. Like, yeah, it does have refurbishment stuff, but that's easier than some type of integrated optics system. Or you could just do both, have optics and a window, like the shuttle did.
Like
Didn't
an
steer them
F-35
wrong.
helmet. Like an F-35 helmet,
Yeah.
so you have like VR or AR, so you can just look through the
A HUD.
vehicle.
Now that would
Yeah.
be cool.
That would be sick. All right, well, mini shuttle good. Any other Dream Chaser thoughts before we keep on rolling? I have a good question here from Bart, if you guys don't have anything else.
Bart it up, man.
I mean, don't chase away my dreams. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Don't go chasing Dream Falls. Anyways, Bart Van...
Hey, I don't want no scrubby references, okay?
How do we say this last name? Bart Van Schillenberg. Schillenberg? I'm gonna go with Schillenberg. Sorry, Bart. They're asking, could they put? This is a really good question. This is like this might be a little bit into the weeds for us, like a little bit technical. It's a very serious question.
So it's an EJ question.
Could they put a mini external tank and two solids on the belly of Dream Chaser? Have you done this in Kerbal, EJ? Confirm or deny?
I've never launched a mini shuttle like that before. No.
All right. Well, we'll add it to the list.
You could do anything as long as you're not breaking laws of physics with aerospace. So that being said, I'm pretty sure they designed it to go in a fairing or something. I can't speak to Dream Chaser 2, right? Like, don't know.
Electric Boogaloo?
Maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Well,
it would be very cool to see, but I don't think that's something that we're gonna get.
Speaking of things
I want
that
to
you
see
could
Kerbal
get,
designs.
merch store. It exists. And as a matter of fact, we are doing a last chance thing for our Flight 1 and Flight 2 merch, because we're going to clear some of this stuff out and make some space in the store for Flight 3 merch. So if there's a piece of merch from Flight 1 or Flight 2 that you particularly want to get, I would get it now, because once they're gone, they are gone. Now, the patches are not last chance, so you'll still be able to get a patch from Flight 1 or Flight 2 as long as we have stock. That's the caveat there, is we will run out. We ordered a finite amount of the patches, so while they are not last chance, they will be gone when they're gone. So you like the
The quotes.
yeah. A
Yeah,
laser.
that's the best. Laser,
But yeah,
blaze.
so that is the merch plug. We appreciate everyone supporting us however you choose to do. These patches are fantastic, and there is a Flight 3 patch coming. We also have the patch in sticker form, in shirt form, in mug form. So yeah, if there's any of this that you want, it is in the last chance section of the store. You have been put on notice. And again, the patches are not last chance, but they are limited, so kind of a similar bucket. Anyways, merch, it exists. Buy some. Do it.
That was
Buy
a
it.
smooth
Do it.
as butter transition, as smooth as a Dream Chaser landing on a runway.
Hey.
As
Can we?
if
Okay,
ignore
no.
the one test.
We gotta go. We gotta go
Yeah,
wildly off the
there's that
rails
one
here for a
time.
second. How do we feel about spacecraft with the nose gear being like a skid? Like Virgin Galactic has the nose gear as a skid. Dream Chaser has the nose gear as a skid. How do we feel about that? I don't like it. I'm mad about it.
Yeah, that's fair. It does look a little weird, but then you realize there's a pressure vessel in the way, so you can't really fit a tire there on either one of those crafts. That's the problem. I mean, it's have a tire or have a hole in your pressure vessel. There's also mass as well. The skid plate's a little less mass than a tire. But yeah, it's because if you look at the kind of quote unquote habitable portions of either one of those spacecraft, there's the habitable parts in the way.
There is
Yeah,
something
I mean,
about, the marks that it's going to leave on the runway. You're used to seeing, obviously the touchdown point and the nose gear touchdown, and those are your little skid marks that you see on the runway from shuttle. This thing is just going to leave a mark down the center line over time. I don't know. I agree. Having a vehicle come back in one piece is more important than aesthetics, but aesthetics.
Yeah, no, from an aesthetic point of view, I'm with you guys. I just played devil's advocate there for a second. No, Team Wheels all day.
Hashtag Team Wheels. But I mean, I get it. It's an
Oh, I'm
engineering
definitely
trade.
Team Wheels.
Yeah, my guy, dude. See, Chad, he's
Team
an
Wheels all
expert.
the way. I would not do well with skids.
Yep.
I'm-
See,
Yeah.
should have wheels.
Yeah. Wheels.
You heard it here first.
Okay. Moving right along. Tower segments. Tower segments from Kennedy, from SpaceX, have been loaded onto a barge and are en route. En route? Route? Limit? Anyways.
Either.
So yeah, can we get the Kevin? Can we get the tower video on the? Let's get the tower video. Let's look at the tower video. I'm trying to get Kevin to talk again. Kevin. There we go. There we go. So yeah, they're transporting 4 tower segments from the Cape to Boca right now. They're on the high seas. So
Everything
what
that
do we
you
think?
see now is happening
Merch
now.
pie.
Yeah. Oh, good deal. But yeah, I mean, what do we think? Like, how long is it going to take them to actually start putting this tower up? I mean, they're certainly putting the pieces in place, literally, as they transfer them over to Starbase. I mean, do we think they're just going to take them into the port of Brownsville and set them there next to the one they already have there and just wait while they do all the foundation work? Do we think they'll move them over to the Sanchez lot and keep them parked there? What's your guys' take on this?
I think they're going to move it to Sanchez, but they'll wait until everything gets to Brownsville. You're going to have to close the road, right? Move
Right.
those things. They're a little large. I don't know if you could tell from the picture. You could tell it's large because of the way it is. So they're probably going to stage all of them at Port of Brownsville and then move them to Sanchez. But once again, I don't think they'd go directly to the launch site, right? We'd have to see them start to move dirt around and pouring concrete, So if you're down in Boca, your tank watcher, keep an eye out for, concrete, cement trucks and pumper trucks moving in and out down towards the launch site. That's when you'll know. And dump trucks with dirt. You're gonna have to see that equipment being moved around first before they go anywhere. So I think Sanchez. Sawyer, what do you think?
I think eventually, yeah, but these are the sit around and find out type segments. These have been sitting at Roberts Road. They built them pretty quick, and then they're just sitting there. So now they're finally moving them over to Starbase, but then it's a question of, are they still just going to be sitting there for a while? Because, as mentioned, we don't have the public info on if there's, or any info, on where that second tower is going to be. So they're just going to kind of be sitting there gathering more dust, more rust while we wait for it. I just feel bad for the tower segments now all of a sudden, even though they're inanimate objects. I don't know why. But I think, yeah, they're going to be sitting waiting at Sanchez as well.
Yeah, we've seen them sort of make little parking spots for the towers at Sanchez, so that would make sense. And I think you're right, EJ. They'll do it when they're ready to move it all at once, just so they only have to close the road that one time. It'll be like a serious convoy of towers. I wonder if they even have enough SPMTs to do it all at once, or if they'd have to like move two and then bring the SPMTs back and then move two, or what. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
They'll probably contract it out. SpaceX they contract out moving equipment when they don't have enough, like cranes, for instance. They're the SpaceX Libre 11,000s, right? And then, but there are also other cranes from other companies too.
Right. Famously, United Rentals has a large presence in Starbase.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
Yeah, I would suggest not getting stuck behind them, Jack, as you've done before when they're moving.
Yeah,
just saying.
Not the best time when you're in one of those traffic jams.
Oof.
A lot of people in chat are telling us that the X-15 had a nose wheel skid. It had a nose wheel and two rear skids. I know X-15 had skids. I really don't have that much against skids. It's just aesthetically, tires are so much nicer.
Yeah. No, the X-15 is awesome. I'm not, and the engineering decisions are the engineering decisions. Those respected first and foremost. We were speaking from an aesthetic point of view. Differences.
Indeed. Speaking of tower construction and all kinds of construction, we have some new construction at Roberts Road, I'm being told. We have some breaking news from our very own Harry Stranger, friend of the channel.
Harry?
Best Harry. What are we looking at here? I cannot read this tweet because it's too tiny.
They are... Go ahead.
SpaceX has submitted updated
EJ.
site plans for the western side of Roberts Road facilities, interestingly referred to as, I can barely read this. Orange Grove project site.
Orange Grove project site. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
So
we've kind of talked similar to this on the KSC flyovers, that there was discussions of the expansion, but this is nice to finally see, the full list of these threads. Go ahead, EJ. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, all good, man. Plug the flyover video. Those videos are sweet. That's how I learn what's going on. I'm not even kidding. Like, I watch the flyover videos. They're great. Like, I'm not just shamelessly plugging it. There's some really good information there. And what I like to do is watch them and kind of figure out what's going on, right? So, if we bump back over to those plans real quick, you can kind of see from the plans and from the flyover videos kind of, you're not going to predict the future. And this is just speculation on my part. I understand, but you can kind of see what's going on here. So this facility, if you look at those plans, it obviously is going to be moving something gigantic around. How can you tell? Well, if you look at the very bottom of that plan, there is a gigantic driveway. And that driveway is indicated different from the roads that are on the sides, that are on the left and right side of that plan. That indicates that that road has a different grade in the architectural plans. Now, it has a different, subgrade actually, not a grade. Grade is different. It has a different subgrade. So if you're a construction nerd, forgive me, I'm probably not using the exact right nomenclature. Long story short, it's made of, that's thicker road for moving heavier things. You want a road with a thicker subgrade for moving something gigantic and really, really freaking heavy. The reason why is because if you don't, it's going to sink through the road. You don't want that. I mean, if you look at NASA spaceflight's pictures from flyovers around Boca Chica and just the coverage that NSF does down there, Highway 4 gets mangled by all the trucks that drive up and down that road. They're constantly doing repairs on Highway 4 because Highway 4 was not engineered to move around industrial traffic. So it's important. You could kind of discern from the plans what they're doing. Something big is going to be made here. If I had to guess, I don't know, probably Starship, maybe. But another just I mean, I don't know. It could be, probably. Who knows? Another interesting thing here is that, this is kind of topical. We just saw those tower segments get moved. So SpaceX is clearly moving a lot of stuff, indicating a ramp up in operations at Boca Chica, but also they're just punching out this gigantic facility here that's 320,000 square feet. It's interesting because you think, oh, they're moving the tower segments back towards Boca Chica. They're going to ramp up Boca Chica. Oh wait, they built that Starship pad at 39A. They're going to ramp up there. I don't know. What are we doing? What are we going back and forth? No. They're doing both of those things. We're seeing operations ramp up at the Cape, and we're also seeing operations ramp up at Boca Chica. That's crazy. It's crazy. This is an insane amount of facilities being built. I mean, and like I said, if you watch the flyover, I'm not trying to shamelessly plug this. If you watch the flyover videos, you see SpaceX not the only one building crazy amounts of facilities down there. Blue Origin is building insane stuff down there too. It's frankly ridiculous. Like anybody that's ever been down to KSC, you go over that causeway towards KSC VC, you go over the NASA causeway, you can see the VAB, you can see the pads. I was down there very recently, and it's interesting how the skyline has actually changed because of all the blues and all of SpaceX's facilities that are just going up like weeds. I mean, I'm not complaining, man. That's pretty good. I like this. Don't hate it.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a space fan. That's for dang sure.
And there's a live look at Blue's pad, and then there's a live look at 39A.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, shh. Falcon 9 is sleeping. Shh.
Oh,
wait, is that just the TE, or is there a Falcon 9 on there? I can't tell. Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is.
It's a very sooty Falcon, but shh, it's asleep. Don't wake it up.
Isn't that Nova C? Am I looking at that right?
Yep.
Nice.
I am one.
Yeah,
I am turning 30 this month, but I'm not one, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Sawyer.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Also Sawyer. Yep.
You gotta love the Space Coast Live cams.
Yeah, these are great.
So,
which you could
what
see
do we think
24/7 on Space Coast Live.
What do we think about Starship at the Cape? How excited are we to see a Starship stacked at 39A? Because I know I dang sure am.
Yeah. Me too, man. But it's kind of clear that they're, like I said, they're ramping up operations for building Starships at the Cape, right? But I haven't seen much progress out on that pad that's to the right of the main pad structure inside of the BDA on 39. There's like a pad perimeter. It's called the blast detonation area. That's where the Starship pad is. It's just to the, I think it's to the east.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't seen much. What's up?
I was going to say slightly. Like I think it's east and maybe slightly to the south, just a touch. But, yeah.
It is southeast, yeah.
I thought you said west. Anyway, sorry. I haven't seen much like going on. I haven't seen much going on there lately, but I mean, the other thing that I've noticed is that from the flyover videos is that if you look at Roberts Road, it's very clear that they built it like the Sanchez site, but it's kind of beefed up a little bit more, meaning that they're going to build more tower segments there, indicating that there's going to be more pads being made at some point. So,
right.
I mean, you're probably going to get multiple pads from the Cape too in the future. Like I said, they're ramping up on both fronts. It's just the Cape is a little ways behind Boca Chica, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's not really much that's been happening on the Starship pad at the Cape. It's like they sort of seem to have paused work there while they iron things out in Starbase, and then you got to figure as soon as they're ready to flick that switch, they will go whole hog on the 39A pad, and probably others as well. Like there's not going to be a small number of Starship pads based on everything they're trying to accomplish with this vehicle. Sawyer, sorry I interrupted you.
Yeah, I can say no, it's fine. Again, the delay. I can say from experience being out there a lot over the last year, it's the same. There's no changes basically. I mean, you see occasionally people out there in the tents and things, but most of those tents are being taken down already. It's very quiet there, and I think a lot of it is still waiting for, let's see what happens over at Starbase to see what's the best tower solution now. You know, Could they maybe move everything over to pad 40 and then take the main launch mount and turn that into a Starship launch tower? Could they maybe
please. That would be
acquire
awesome.
Could they maybe acquire another launch pad? 37B is opening up. Could they decide to
Yep.
buy the land north and do LC-49? There are a lot of options, and I think it's mainly going to depend on what happens down at Starbase, and that they probably built this first tower a little too quickly.
I wonder if they get like a bulk discount on towers. Like, buy 3, get the 4th one free.
I mean, buying in bulk works. Look at the Saturn V. They bought 20 of those things. Just saying.
Should have bought more.
And didn't
Should
fly
have bought
free, though.
more.
Yeah, as a shuttle guy, I agree with you.
Quit Tessa, thank you for the support. They say EJ needs a Persian cat for the Blowfield quotes. I support this. Rankley, thank you for the support. They say I just had a fever dream of SpaceX stacking tower segments on the barge. Take some aspirin. William, thank you for making a store purchase. They say, keep up the good work, guys. Question, why does Starship IFT lift off at an angle? Pad preservation redundancy in the event of the need for FTS activation, question mark. It does kind of do a little bit like of a power slide. I mean, it's not like we see, it's not quite as drastic as we see with other vehicles, but Starship does definitely seems to come off the pad at an angle.
It's a pad avoidance. It's a pad avoidance maneuver. Starship is not the first one to do it. We saw Vulcan do it. Vulcan did the same thing, which scared me when I saw that launch for the first time. I'm like, it's tipping. Okay, that's normal. I mean,
we're fine. It's fine.
yeah, it's fine. Everything. This is fine. We've seen other launch vehicles do that. Antares did it, and well, when it flew, even up to the 230 plus version, it would always kind of move a little bit to one side away from the pad. So if something does go wrong, the rocket doesn't come right down on your ground service equipment. You really don't want that. That's a nightmare scenario.
Right. It's not a nightmare scenario, though. Our membership program. We talk a lot about the membership program. Yeah, thank you, EJ. We talk a lot about the membership program, and we did a little video just illustrating all the cool stuff that you get as part of the membership program. So if you got gifted a membership in this stream, or if you're thinking about becoming a member, check this out. And then it's a nice little explainer of the membership program. Quick little
The NSF membership program is one of the best ways to support the channel, starting off with the Pad Wrap members who get their name highlighted in chat. They get access to custom emoji and a 4K multi-view for major Starbase events. Red Team get additional member exclusive photos and videos on YouTube. Capcom members get access to the member Discord, where there's even more photo uploads. The launch directors get their name at the end of every NSF live show, and flight engineers get everything above at the top level of support.
Jack,
This is an example of the 4K multi-view during Ship 25 and Booster 9's wet dress rehearsal. There's access to multiple different cameras. This is an insight into the photos shared in the YouTube page for members, which is Red Team and above. Here is insight into the Discord server, the exclusive Discord, which is for Capcom members and above.
Shout out to Food Chat.
And here's an example of the launch directors and flight engineers being showcased at the end of NSF Live.
I know the guy in the middle.
Sweet beard.
The
What were you gonna
NSF
say,
membership
EJ?
program is one of the best ways to support the channel, starting off.
There we go. What were you saying, EJ? Do I remember what?
Thanks, Ryan.
I was
Thanks, Ryan.
going to say, do you remember the member program? I remember.
I remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember the member program?
I like.
Been eating those
I like
member
having-
berries.
Oh my god. I like having Ryan do the VO for that though. Like it makes it feel more classy. Just the British voice. I'm a big fan.
Feels
All right,
right and proper, mate.
Let's move on. I'm so tempted, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm sparing you all that.
Do it so we can laugh
I
at
know
you.
how to-
I mean, hi.
Do it.
I know how to say. I know how to say razor blades with an Australian accent. You say rise up lights. Rise up lights. So it's like, it's like that's all I got. That's all I got. That's it. That's all you get.
And I do know how to say a certain Rocket Lab CEO's name with a New Zealand accent.
Uh-oh.
Do it.
Mr. Peter Bick.
Peter
Vic? I still am kind of in a state of shell shock that I got to interview Peter and Jared and Tim for that matter. Like we do cool interviews
I liked
here.
the Peter Beck one. That was you and me. That was a really cool one.
Quality. Okay, let's do another topic. Pace launched. Hooray! That's it.
Yeah,
That's the topic.
We're really keeping the pace up on this show.
That's
Jeez.
it. That's it. Yeah, that's that. There's your news. All right, cool. We're leaving. Bye.
I have one thing to nitpick about it. It did launch successfully, which is great. It landed successfully, but I'm going to be nitpicky. I'm calling it Pakoi.
Okay.
Why?
Okay. No, I was going to go down this rabbit hole on stream when we were going over the acronym, because Ocean is definitely in there as part of the name, except they did not name it Pakoi. They named it Pace because acronyms.
They have it on the actual, the mission patch. They had it on the fairing. They just made the O lowercase. That doesn't mean you can ignore it. It's oceanic. It's still important. Oceanic is important to the mission.
All right, you heard it here first. Pakoi is the new accepted name on NASA spaceflight streams for this mission.
Is this, I believe, Max's picture from actually inside when we got to go to the Astrotech facility and see it being prepped for launch. So shout out to Max for that.
Yeah, Max did a great job with these. I'm super jelly because I still have not gotten to go in a clean room.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Me neither.
It's just so
Maybe Dream
wild
Chaser?
because you stand up close to something like this and you take photos of it, knowing that it's going to go into space. Like what a cool thing, and like I said, Max did a great job with these. But it's a science mission. That's the cool thing about it. It's an Earth observation satellite, so those are some of my very favorite missions. It's it's not just another ComSat. It's not some secret thing for the DoD, which I do also kind of like the secret missions as well. But Earth science is good, right? Because we get to learn more about this precious jewel of a planet that we live on.
I mean, it's part of the battle, dude.
Do we have a favorite science mission? What EJ? Do you have a favorite science mission? Sawyer, I'll let you think about it while EJ waffles and maybe answers.
Parker Solar Probe, because speed. I am speed. Yep.
Nice.
That's it.
Yeah, that is a really good one.
All right. I won't dead air it. So why? What's with Parker Solar Probe? So Parker Solar Probe is a probe that's studying the solar corona of the sun. All right. So what does that mean? That's basically kind of the point where gases get trapped by the sun's gravitational pull, and sometimes because the sun likes to burp, it's a little more complicated than that. Heliophysics.
Yeah. No,
yep.
The technical term. Yeah. Sun burp.
You get a coronal mass ejection, and Parker Solar Probe is flying through the solar corona where all that kind of, I want to say ejecta, but it's not the right word, is. In order to do that, Parker Solar Probe needed to do a gravity assist off of another planet. And now, if you know a little bit about orbital mechanics, you can use gravity assist to go to raise aphelion or lower aphelion, right? You could do it depending on what planet, ejection angle, et cetera, et cetera. Long story short, Parker Solar Probe is going over 450,000 miles an hour. That's speed. It's the fastest
Super
thing
cool.
ever. Like, that's the fastest man-made object, maybe except for the nuclear manhole, but we don't know how fast that went.
I always forget about the nuclear manhole cover.
The nuclear manhole.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
a great story.
What went faster, the forward dome and mass simulator from SN1, or the nuclear manhole cover?
Nuclear manhole, all day.
Good deal. Sawyer, do you have a favorite science mission of recent flight history?
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, I did love seeing Pluto. I gotta say, that was a fantastic mission, but for right now, my number one science mission is OSIRIS-REx. I mean,
my guy.
DART was cool,
Good
don't
call.
get me wrong. Psyche's going to be amazing, but the fact that we literally went out, high-fived an asteroid, sucked up, some of the pieces of it, brought it back, landed in the exact spot in the desert in the United States that they had planned 7 years prior. And that blows my mind. We finally opened it, and I can't wait to see what the science is from it. And I also am biased because I got to see OSIRIS-REx on the launch day and, do a whole selfie with Bill Nye and that. But, I mean, just the Psyche mission itself was unbelievable. They nailed the target. Everything was just so perfect with that mission, and I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good answer, Sawyer. EJ's answer was terrible, but yours is really good. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, you had a really good answer. I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Well, what's yours then?
Oh, I have a cop-out answer. James Webb.
Oh,
I mean, come on. I mean, come on. Although I was thinking
What,
maybe
next you're going to say your
OSIRIS-REx
second
or
favorite's Hubble?
maybe New Horizons. But Sawyer already did both of those. So James Webb. How could you not? How could you not love some great observatory action?
Yeah. You
Also,
would
shout
like
out to
that one.
S4 said Cassini Gang.
Oh, Cassini, yeah,
there
that's
you
good.
go.
Also, I mean, shout out to Perseverance and Ingenuity. That's obviously another big one. Like,
that's what I was
Ingenuity
gonna say.
is kind of epic. Can't go wrong there.
Rip.
F's in the chat for Ingenuity.
Rip.
F's in the
That's
chat.
what happened to its blade. Rip.
Oh God.
Yep, that's why I said it.
Cool. Well, any further thoughts on Pace?
I mean, there was a tweet from NASA's Launch Services Program showing a trajectory for Pace. Now, for a little bit of time, the polar corridor out of Cape Canaveral was not a thing. But SpaceX, proved with their flight proven reliability, have been able to launch on a polar trajectory, basically having a rocket go out over the Atlantic Ocean and then take a big right-hand turn going south down the corridor, kind of between, the South Florida and the Bahamas. Now, NASA LSP posted a picture on their Twitter, and I'm pretty sure we have that. Kevin, pull that thing up for me if you could. They posted a picture of the trajectory. What's that?
Roll 212. That's the Daily Show joke about. Yeah. Kevin, roll 212. Sorry. Please continue, EJ.
Roll 212, please. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No. That was good. So the trajectory basically went across the Everglades, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami, like kind of skirted the edge of a population center, way more than we've seen. Now, whether that's the actual trajectory or not, I'm not sure. I mean, if there's anybody out there in chat that's in South Florida, did that thing fly over you or was it out towards the ocean? I'd be really curious here.
I'll let Sawyer answer, but I do think there were some illustrations of the trajectory that showed it like literally cutting off the tip of Florida, and then there was others that showed it just skirting the land. So I don't think it actually overflew land, but Sawyer, I'll let you finish.
At what? You mean the person that was in South Florida watching the launch fly directly overhead? This one was pretty much straight up. It did go a little bit more west than I've seen for some of them, but for the most part, it seemed to fly the traditional southern polar launch corridor, which is, it skirts around it. The dog leg, you could kind of see it actually happen, because it happened right near where I was positioned, near West Palm Beach, and it didn't look like it was going to overfly a large portion of land, maybe a tiny bit when it gets to the Keys or the Everglades further, all the way down. But I don't think that it overflew the land as severe as the LSP map that you see there was. And I've seen other trajectory maps that showed it, which looked a heck of a lot more like what I saw with my own eyes, which was it went straight over, then kind of went tiny bit west, and then did its normal into its polar orbit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
So there's your answer from South Florida.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, people over on the Twitch chat are saying the same thing. They're saying, yeah, it flew on a more normal trajectory, because I was really wondering there. Like, I had mentioned at the beginning of this whole spiel that, SpaceX is launching more flight-proven trajectories, and that's why the Cape opened up the polar corridor so they could launch Polar out of the Cape. I was wondering if that had shifted to the point where we could fly rockets over population centers. I was wondering if I missed something. I'm like, is that okay to do? Because generally, we don't launch anywhere over any place where a person could be. Most of the U.S. launch sites are, well, actually, all of them launch in a direction on azimuths that are over water. And I'm not talking just over water in the immediate area. I'm talking hundreds of kilometers downrange, like no land, no water, all water, no land. You don't fly over areas that have people. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, and I do wonder if a certain part of the calculus there is, by that point in flight, it's just the second stage. The first stage has already gone away and done its thing landing. So it's a very small vehicle, and it's already moving with an extremely large velocity and very high up in the atmosphere. So, it's probably
it has enough.
That problem. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it has at that point a lot more forward momentum, especially given on that polar trajectory. That's one of those where it was interesting watching it because as it went overhead, it looked like it slowed down, but I know that was just the speed of it. The way that I could really tell how fast it was going was in the streak shot. There was a gap between obviously the first stage and the second stage. Normally it's small-ish. This one was a significantly larger gap, meaning it had yeeted so fast already on the first stage that the second stage ignition happened at a much higher altitude than it seemed like. But it did appear as it went directly overhead that it was crawling. It was going at a super slow pace, but again, that could just be that it's 90 degrees up at that point, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, the reason why I bring all this up is because that said polar launch corridor, the one that we showed with the trajectory kind of hooking around South Florida, there was a corridor that was
hurt me,
open.
EJ? Why do you want to hurt me?
What do you mean?
I don't like the Southern Polar Corridor. Go ahead, continue.
Oh, well, I was going to say the reason why it was closed until SpaceX started using it is because they thought the second stage would burn up, and I think it was an Atlas Able launched out of the Cape on a polar trajectory, and the stage came down and killed a cow in Cuba. That's why they closed the polar corridor out of the Cape for a really long time. So that's why I was wondering, I'm like, are they okay? They were clearly okay with flying rockets over Cuba, right? But also now, like flying over Cuba and population centers in the U.S., like that's why I bring this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Also, Adrian says you're a liar.
Okay, I said on the Pace stream that the Southern Polar Corridor was not that bad, or something along those lines, but I still hate it.
You did, yes.
I can acknowledge that it's not completely awful while still hating it. This is two opinions that I can hold simultaneously. I'm a complex human. Hey, look, it's Sawyer Cam.
Hey!
Good deal. Well, I don't know. Anyone have anything else on Pace?
No.
Anyone have anything they
No,
they
I
wanna
think we
hit?
went pretty
the
long
drift!
today if you're asking about the pace.
Yeah, look at
The
that.
drift. You can see the engines gimbling to do that dog leg to the south. Thank you, Kevin. I forgot about that. Kat, can you not knock things off my desk for like 5 minutes, please? We're about to end.
Like, from my point of view, I could. From my point of view, I could actually see it turning from that camera angle there. I hadn't seen the engines with the really sharp turn. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that's Sawyer. I'm really glad you were downrange for this one, just so we can get that perspective on this launch.
My pleasure.
Cool. All right,
we even got to see the Falcon Nebula from down south, just gotta say. This one put out a gorgeous nebula. Shout out to Max, who also captured it phenomenally. You got to see it on his social media channels. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think he tweeted that out, right? That was a sick shot that he got of stage sep and boost back.
Yes.
Cool. Bartsy, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Annette, thank you for grabbing something from the store. Don't forget, there's last chance items on the store. We're clearing the store out ahead of Flight 3. So some of the Flight 2 stuff is going to go away. So head on over to the store and make sure you grab any of that last chance merch if you're so inclined. There's the shot from Max. Look at that.
That's
is
amazing.
gold. That is fantastic.
Yeah,
You'll love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just have to randomly point out that for some reason, one of the strings on my guitar just snapped.
Yeah, thought I heard something.
Are you saying
Just
you're
now.
haunted? You're haunted. So Sawyer is haunted.
It must
confirmed?
be. I didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here, I'm watching Max's video, and all of a sudden, one of the guitar strings just, I heard crackling. I'm like, is it my light burning up? No, it was a guitar string that popped.
The ghosts approve
blame
of
Jake.
Max's shot. I also blame Jake.
Yep.
Proof
I
that it's not
am
just for show, that it actually does get used, but yeah.
I am Spaghetti becoming a Red Team member. Thank you for that. Angry American, thank you for the super chat. They say membership gift drive to get Jack to do a stream in a kilt. No, it's
Agreed.
not going to happen. I don't know how I can be more clear. I am not going to wear a kilt. It's not going to happen. Brian Green.
I don't understand.
Thank you
Why?
for
What's the adversity here?
I just don't.
Right.
I'm not a kilt guy. Have you? No, you haven't seen my legs. Nobody wants to see my legs. If you think I can grow a mean beard, just imagine the hair situation on my legs. It's not. Nobody wants to see that. Like people come to our
It could be
stream to
worse.
watch things
It could be
that are
kayak
cool
in a
looking.
kilt.
That's true. That would be. I don't think those two are conducive to each other, despite both starting with K. Anyways, Brian Green, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Let's see. I think that's about it for this week. Any other
I think we're
questions
good.
we want to do? I think we're good. All the questions now are just kilt questions. So, you know what?
Jack, what is the
Kilt.
airspeed velocity of a swallow?
I don't remember how I'm supposed to continue that reference.
Never mind. All right, we're done here.
Leighton swallow?
All right. Thank you, EJ, for being on. I'm sorry I failed you with my Monty Python wisdom.
It's all right.
It's like I'm getting full-on disappointed dad vibes. Like I feel bad right now. Are you mad or just disappointed?
Matt appointed.
Okay. But seriously, thanks for being on, bud. Always a fun time.
Thanks, guys.
Sawyer
Yep.
as well. Thank you for being on.
Always a pleasure, and as Alex said in the back channel, I think it's time to kill the stream.
Oh,
Kill
all
the stream.
right. I'm leaving.
That
I'm
was
leaving.
Alex. That wasn't me. I have to give him the
right.
pun token for that.
All right. I'm out. I'll see you. Bye.
Yep. With that, thank you so
You
much.
look
Thanks
at
to
left.
Kevin Michael Reed, the Kevin Michael Reed, in the background for running today's stream, spinning the giant human-sized hamster wheel that makes things go. And yeah, I think that's it for this week. Let us know what you think of the new format and the tweaks and the time and all that stuff in the comments. We're still doing some experimenting here, seeing if this is what we want to go with. But yeah. Geez, what? Okay. Stream over.
Damn
It's
it,
done.
damn it.
It's over.
Yes,
Cut
I'm
it.
coming back for this.
Cut it.
Awesome.
We'll see you nerds next week.
See you guys. Thank you.
Oh, and thanks to our launch directors. I don't know why you support us. It's awful. Everything we just had on screen was awful. Flight engineers,
And
thank
the
you so
flight
much
engineers.
too. Thank you so much to everyone who supports what we do. And with that, we'll see you nerds later. Will you stop, Kevin? Like you and I are enemies now. Like, why are you doing this? Why?
Damn.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up.
Water towers fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Fighting downside FD off. Bring in FD off. It's orange! 145! Oh my god! Oh my god! Décollage! What do you think? Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep don't need any more of these.
this thing on? Hello? Hello? Anybody there? You guys still here? All right. Hang on one second. I have to re-enable the webcam or else this is going to be a little awkward. I wish we'd known each other. This is a little awkward. Okay. Let's pop back in here, pop off that, go back to that screen, and boom! What's up? What's up, what's up? What's up, chat? What are you up to this Friday night? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, what up? How you doing? How you doing? Fun? We have fun? Yeah? 95 out of 49 month resub in there. Weather guy had a 46. Peccadillo had a 33 before that. Sorry, I can't call out the sub when you're doing a commentary with other people. I can't call out the resubs. It'd just seem very weird. Just watching trash TV, you know. Yeah, good. Hey, whatever. Thanks for choosing me. So about that Dream Chaser KSP2 build. Watching your glorious republic grow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Check DMs. Things are happening. Oh boy. Oh boy. What'd you do? Oh. Yeah, thanks for that, 95. Yeah. Appreciate you. Thanks for that. That was the longest NSF space news. Yep. That was really good. Chemistry was a lot better than last week's. You seemed a lot more relaxed too. Well done. Yeah. Whenever you're going into a new format, whenever you're going into a new format, especially when it's not my house, you know what I mean? You always want to be kind of meter your expectations. But once, you got to go in, you got to read the room, right? So you got to read the room. Read the room, and yeah, now it's cool. Yeah, it's all good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys had fun. Yeah, I really like doing that. That's fun. I like going in there and hanging around with Jack and Sawyer. They're fun to hang around with. I also put the weather data nerd thing in the Discord. Jenny wouldn't be offended if I'm the only one who geeks out over that. Dude, and we got to watch a launch. That's fantastic. That was fun. It's a good time. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. All right, so, oh yeah, there's the weather thing. I see it. Nice. Brimo wants me to go get Mickey D's. We need Mickey D's. So I could do with some Mickey D's. But also, your technical explanations are a great addition. Yeah, I got to work on them. I think I got to be more during the technical explanations. I got to be a little bit more professional, but I don't know. I mean, at least with the terminology, or at least acknowledge that I'm not getting the terminology right. Because some of the stuff, like, I'm so used to calling things here like the thingamadoo and who's a what's-is and the dingle bop and stuff that on NSF it comes off as just me not knowing what I'm talking about. It's kind of funny actually, but yeah. Hang on. Need to find your Riker's beard moment. Yeah. Go get McDonald's and come back for a late night stream? So EJ cat when? Nah. It'd be a dog before it's a cat. Can we DoorDash to your P.O. box? Do not do that. Dude, some burps was awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. That one was one I'm cool with. Bree, how, like, on a scale from 1 to feed me to food mo, are we where are we at here? Because I could go with some nuggets. Feed me. Okay. Yeah. Wherefore. Yeah, I want to play more workers though. I want to play more workers. Oh man. But food mo. We got to deal with food mo. We have to. You can play workers for however long you want when you get back. Yeah, we should probably do that. Primo, what are we doing tomorrow? Just out of the blue. Like, just wondering. What are we doing tomorrow? We got anything planned? We got anything planned? We got no, King, hold on a second. Hold on. What do we got planned for tomorrow? Nothing, but it's Valentine's weekend, and I would like to do something this weekend. That's something we're doing, we agreed would be on Sunday, right? Right? Right. Did we? You never told me yes or no. You
Discovery,
just grunted.
go and throttle up.
Well, Nader just gifted a sub to Grumpy Vidiot. So, obviously that was a yes. I'm sorry, it's how I communicate. So, okay, Bree, how about we do something for Valentine's Day on Sunday, and tomorrow we go get nuggies now. And tomorrow, I stream. And then we do Valentine's stuff on Sunday. Trade offer. I receive weekend stream. You receive Valentine's Day. Do we have a deal? How long are you going to stream tomorrow? Well, I got a meeting tomorrow at 11, so I was thinking the later parts of the afternoon to the stream. EJ doesn't like football. No, I don't care about the teams playing. Yeah, I don't care. Once Detroit went out, I just don't care. It's the 49ers and the Kansas City Swifts. I'm good. I'm good, thanks. I don't need to watch that. So, I'm thinking, I don't know, like start maybe 4, 5 o'clock tomorrow, something like that. Can we go get nuggies and talk about it? Only if I can at least stream a little bit tomorrow. Maybe later in the night. Yes. 5 o'clock. Give me 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Shut up, chat. No. 5 o'clock. All right. All right. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I can't say when. I'm going to go get nuggies. I'm going to spend the night with my wife. My wife. And I'll stream tomorrow. Okie dokie. You got me 6 days this week. Bro, I need workers and resources. Yes. All right. I will see you tomorrow sometime. Shy, I'm still negotiating that. I'm still negotiating. 0% of a late night workers thing tonight. I want to spend time. I want to enjoy the nuggies with my wife. Is that cool? That cool? Too bad. Even if you say no, I'm still doing it. All right, Antares. I'll see you, buddy. I'm sorry, what? Go look at clouds, man. All right. No, King. Yeah, no. I'm. Yeah. If I sign out right now, I'm signing out. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. Okie dokie. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed NSF Live. I hope you guys enjoyed Workers. We're on the upswing in Workers. That's why I want to play it tomorrow. We will complete Phase 1. It'll be awesome. We will bring our dreams of communist hellholes to reality. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I haven't figured out a time. Just keep an eye on the title of the stream. I'll change it when I figure it out. I'm a little confused by your tactics. I'm going to keep acting tough till I figure out what's going on. Yeah. 5 with a 1 in front of it. Yeah. Counting is not my strong suit, okay? I'll see you guys then. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, okay? And if you can't see the stream on Saturday, have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. But I'll be around tomorrow. Have a good night. Thank you.